Ladies and gentlemen, how are we doing today? Mobile Mayhem is back live. We got the action for you guys. We got the teams. It is Thursday, December 3rd, and we have lots of good stuff planned for you guys. Taking a look at our matchups for tonight. We have NL Esports. To some of you, that might look like an unusual name, and that is because we've actually had one of the most well-documented teams in all of Mobile Mayhem joining a new roster. Infinix has joined NL Esports. They're going to be going up against Tragic in game number 1. That's actually going to be a great game, especially with everything on the line and the way that both of these teams have shaped up throughout the season. After that, we're going to have Gene versus Nova Imperium. Gene still looking for their first win, going up against Nova Imperium, who has been known to give away a game or two because of, honestly, just not taking the game seriously enough. After that, we got Tribe Gaming versus Strike Zone, who is also looking for their first win in Mobile Mayhem. Then we got Gravity versus Xset. Xset has actually managed to make their way into contention in Division 1, and Gravity is actually putting up a pretty good fight in Division 2, causing some issues. And then we got Fierce versus Violence. Obviously, Fierce up at the top of the leaderboard, and Violence trying to climb their way up in Division 1. Will definitely be a great one to watch. I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully you guys are as well, as we are getting ready to hop into everything. Apologies, we are having some technical difficulties. That is the reason that we started a little bit late tonight, but we'll be hopping into the action momentarily. And in the meantime, I appreciate you guys' patience and everything else. Taking a look at the standings real quick, we do have Fierce way at the top of Division number 1. NL Esports, Violence, and Xset all going to be fighting. And it looks like Strike Zone actually getting the 2-0 win.
Yeah, I'm probably just going to grab my iPad.
And it sounds like Day is grabbing his iPad. Strike Zone got a 2-0.
Do you have an extra one?
In their matchup on Tuesday. So they're actually close to being in contention for Division number 1, where Xset, Violence, and NL Esports, a.k.a. Infinex, are going to be battling it out. Gravity, Exiled, Nova Imperium, Tragic, and Tribe, all within 40 points of each other. Lots of things could happen right now, so we got lots to look forward to. Should be a great night of gameplay.
Appreciate you, brother.
I do appreciate everybody hanging out and being patient with us. For those of you who are wondering what the bans are going to be, Map 1 is going to be Hardpoint on Summit. The bans for Infinix, a.k.a. NL, is going to be the ASM-10. Tragic's ban is the HVK. Neither of those too surprising to see. Obviously, the Akimbo Phoenix are also banned from all games because they're so freaking broken. So, nothing too terribly surprising to see. We got I saw there was a new tab, and I was like, wait, what brackets do we have?
Password. If it's not that password, try it.
For those of you who are wondering what that voice is in the background, that is the voice of the beautiful one and only Zim. We do have a raid. If I had to guess, that is probably the one and only Tatio. I appreciate it. Can we get some raid? Holy frick. These guys are being so loud, and I just want to get into the gameplay. We're still waiting on a couple things to come through, but yeah, we should be pretty good to go soon here, if I had to guess. And yep, just waiting on a few things to get squared away before we do hop into the gameplay. And apparently, I do have mods. Zillionaire is a freaking lifesaver. Let me see if there's anybody else in chat that I should mod. I don't see anybody that I recognize, like, long-term. If I did have somebody in chat that I recognized that I felt like I could mod, that would probably make Zillionaire's life a whole lot easier. But yep, we are currently just waiting for Day to get his technology squared away. Not only is his face cam not live, but also, apparently, his emulator is not working either, so that's making things a little bit more complicated. And holy spam, there's a lot of it in chat right now. I'm sure it'll probably tone down once we hop into the gameplay. Did anybody buy a Miss Claudia's in chat too? Can we get claps in chat for the mods? Claps in chat for the mods. I appreciate everybody being here. We're going to try to get it started as soon as possible. In Nativos Latinos Esports is NL Esports, I'm being told. So, good to know. But yeah, appreciate everybody being here. Appreciate all of the Titio fans. Let's see. Are we going to be good to go soon?
I grabbed my iPad. It's turning on right now.
Okay, no worries. Day grabbed his iPad. Is your face cam good to go?
Yes, let me grab it.
Let's make it happen. I'm muted. He can't hear what I'm saying. Space as well. Haha. Zim said I'm giving him my Facebook password. Let's see. Vagrade? Oh, do we actually have a Vagrade? Vague's not in this game. There's no way we have a Vagrade. Vague's team will be playing, I believe, next. Yep, Nova Imperium versus Gene. Based on the fact that prior to Tuesday, Strike Zone did not have a win, and then Strike Zone played Gene and won 2-0. If I had to guess, Nova Imperium's probably going to win that matchup. Strike Zone could put up a good fight against Tribe Gaming. If they don't, Tribe is going to be really well situated at the top of the standings. If they can get a 2-0, that'll put up to 111. Fierce's matchup being up against... Wait, where's the schedule? Fierce's matchup being up against Violence. So they've got a little bit more of a difficult team to go up against. It'll be interesting. Definitely going
I did
to be...
not have a chance to do the mustache before stream, sorry.
Oh my gosh.
We'll do it Tuesday, I promise.
Yeah, chat. We better hold him to that, because that... I'm very disappointed it hasn't happened yet, to be completely honest.
Got home late from work. I apologize.
It's all
Sorry,
good.
chat.
It happens. Everybody makes mistakes. Just don't let it happen again, or else. All right. Yeah, we're getting ready to hop into game number 1, which is going to be Tragic versus NL, aka Infinix. Should definitely be a fun one to watch once we get Day into the lobby. I think we should be good to go, and it looks like he is logging in right now.
Working on it. I've so far had issues with the client on 2 different devices.
All right.
But our phone is working so far.
Excellent. All right, Dave from phone casting with us today. Did you see Optic actually? They had like an internal scrim in COD Mobile.
I didn't.
Yep, it's pretty fun to watch.
When did that happen?
They posted on their YouTube channel last night, I think, and everybody was on phone except for Scump, who was playing Thumbs on an iPad Pro. So
Thumbs on an iPad Pro.
Obviously, he had a little bit of an advantage. Probably not as much of an advantage as he could have had, but it was definitely very interesting to watch. Obviously, he had way more kills than anybody else, having the device with 4 times the visibility. Are you on Zim's account or on your account?
I'm going to be on my account.
Okay. Just let me know when you're online, and I will... Oh, I see you.
As soon as all these new deal offers get off my screen.
Dude, just spend all your money, you know? Easy. Nice and simple. Who needs groceries when you got COD points?
That's one way to look at it, man.
All right, we got Day in here, so I believe we will be good to go for game number 1. Oh, Day does not have the maps downloaded.
Yikes.
You'll probably have to leave the lobby. Or oh, it might be Dante. I don't know.
It may be both of us, to be honest
It
with you.
may be both of you. But don't worry, chat. On Tuesday, we will have Mustache Day, and all of your dreams will come true.
If you want, you can just screen share with me the first game,
Okay?
and we'll go from there.
All right. Sounds good. Are you still in the lobby?
Yeah,
Okay. I don't think they'll be able to start until...
I agree.
Yeah. Oh, Dante left again. And L equals nice legs. Oh, okay. Gotcha. I didn't know that it was that simple. Yep, just waiting on Dante to get back in here, and we should be good to go for game one. This is probably going to be one of the better matchups of the night. Tragic versus Infinix. Both teams struggled a little bit on Tuesday night. Obviously, Infinix did end up losing to Tribe, and then Tragic ended up losing Search and Destroy to Fearless, who has actually not won a match yet. So that was a little bit of a surprising matchup for sure. Probably not what most people were expecting right there. We do have Dante back. Day has left. Once we get in, then I can switch the game. Then I can screen share. And I'll do that in... Wait. Screen. Share your screen. Yes. Go live. Can you see it?
I'm opening it right now.
Okay. Hopefully that is
I
working.
can. Heck yeah.
All right, fantastic. Yeah, we should be good to go then. Hopping into game number one. We do have Jez making... Wow, what a rotation right here. And, oh, it very nearly backfired as he almost had somebody spawning behind. Wow, this actually turned out to be a perfect rotation by Jez as he gets 2 early frags on the board. You can see Tatio on the inside of that little box trying to get the frag onto him. The single Fennec not going to give him a whole lot of range, and Tatio is going to be waiting for him on that other side. But it is going to be Tragic getting a pretty solid lead. I believe 21-10 off the start. Nothing too significant. We'll see if Infinix can start bringing these things back, even though right now Tragic is stacking up on the kills.
You will have to leave your Call of Duty in the 4 screen, by the way.
Okay, there we go.
Well, looks like we got some trip mine kills going, and a bit of a lead actually developing for Tragic. So that's a little different with Infinix once again playing a bit down. Now again, it is Tragic has been kind of a almost like a mini All-Stars roster, so it's not a shock to see them doing good. But again, it is just weird seeing the reigning champions doing unfortunately so poorly this season, Bobby.
Yeah, and Space and Sosa are absolutely frying so far. You can see Space already up to 8 kills, abusing that chopper that we've seen so many people go to throughout the season. And like you said, just some struggles for Infinix. Munoz yet to pick up a kill. It seems like there's always at least one person on Infinix that, at least in game one, is lagging behind, and Munoz filling that role. He is finally able to get kill number 1, but to also see Tatio with only 1 kill on the board. Not something that we saw really at all last season, and that's part of the reason why they were able to get their first championship. So we'll see if they're able to turn things around. It is looking like a really solid start so far, as we do have Tragic with a sizable lead and control of the next hardpoint. If they're able to get control of spawns right here, they could be pretty close to that 150-point marker, depending on how long they're able to hold right here.
Yeah, and kind of see Infinix falling into the same thing that has really haunted them the past couple weeks. And that being that Cheto has been consistently the top fragger of the team. And now, obviously, that's not to, like, trash talk Cheto or anything. I'm not calling him a bad player. But when your primary sniper player is getting the most kills in respawn, typically not going to turn out the best for you. You typically want your players like Tatio or Envoy or Dante to be the ones pulling off a lot of the big kills, looking over at the likes of Space on Tragic, who is rocking in a solid 13 kills right now. And while all of Tragic is doing pretty well, 7, 9, 7, and 9 for the other members, Space is obviously up 5 over the next closest. So really in a great spot there. Cheto with 8 for his team, and the next closest being Dante at 6, Minos, Envoy, and Tatio all down at 3, 2, and 4 respectively. Definitely a rough spot to be in, but a little bit of a break for Infinix as they will be the first on that hard point, but with a Annihilator out, Aflos comes in and just rocks them, finds a triple kill for himself.
Yeah, and that's going to punch a pretty big hole in the defense of NL, a.k.a. Infinix, with only one player remaining on the site in Munoz. I have got a feeling it's going to be a retake. It is going to be for the time being. Unfortunately, Space going to drop right there. We will have Infinix staying alive a little bit longer, but just so shocking to see Tatio with only 2 kills on the board and this close to the game ending. He just hasn't seemed to be himself as of recently. They're going to need him to make those big plays if they're going to have a shot at making this comeback. And they have been able to close the gap a little bit, finally able to pick up some of the frags they weren't able to find initially. You see Tatio finding another one, moving up to 4 on the board. But like you said, Cheto, who is typically known as a search and destroy sniper, has been top fragging for the team. Even though he's without a doubt a great player, that's not the player that you typically want to be in that top frag spot. So they're going to need those other players to move into the supporting roles a little bit more. They see Dante with the Annihilator out. He's able to get a frag right there. And they've got control of the hard point, playing the way that they are right now, if it's going to be able to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a big turnaround. I mean, Tio has tripled his kills in the last minute. Munoz doubled his kills. Envoy has tripled his kills. So that's definitely a good turnaround for NL Esports, formerly Infinix here. We do have Envoy. Looks like he made a rotation down behind Jez. Not sure if he's going to find the kill. Does get one before he gets dropped, but definitely a rough spot to be in if you are NL or an NL fan. Just 5 points away for the side of Tragic to close things out, and well over 60 at this point for NL to close things out. So
yeah, and we had some unfortunate timing right there for Tatio. Had he hit that first shot, he would have been able to stay alive with his Annihilator, but ends up dying to the War Machine as a result. Even though stop. Let's see. Do you have all the maps downloaded and everything else, Dan?
Yeah, but my app just crashed.
Okay.
Getting it reopened right now.
All right.
But yes, they are all downloaded.
Okay. Yeah, map 2 is going to be Search and Destroy on Standoff. Should definitely be a good one to watch. Obviously, with Cheto playing the way that he is, it'll give Infinix more of a shot than they had in that first game of Respawn, where they just weren't able to make things happen. Hopefully, they'll be able to put up a little bit more of a fight. We'll have to wait and see. Working on getting day loaded in. We do have a couple Tragic players adjusting some rosters, so they should be good to go pretty soon here as we get ready to hop into game number 2.
Yeah, and it should be a good one because, again, Infinix does seem to perform a bit more in Search and Destroy. So off of a great Tragic win in round 1 of Hardpoint, we may see things even out or maybe even come back for NL Esports, formerly Infinix, going into game 2. So we'll have to see. Obviously, Cheto will likely transition into that sniper role, which he is oh so well known for. And I do think realistically, I would expect that Tragic will struggle a little bit in the range game just because of how dominant Cheto normally is with that sniper. But again, these are not players that are unfamiliar with the Mobile Mayhem tournament overall. I mean, these are all former players that, quite often were subs for other teams and have kind of banded together and really had a huge breakout performance together. So this could potentially be really bad for Infinix. I know we were talking on Tuesday quite a bit that they really needed to pick up some points here because both Xset and Violence are both, I think, within 20 points of them at this point. So if Infinix lost their games here, and we're unable to pick up points, that would give a big opportunity for Violence to maybe move up into that second place spot, as well as Exet. If they can pick up a win, we could potentially see Infinix fall out of finals contention.
Yeah. That would absolutely be shocking to see, especially as the reigning champions. We are good to go for game number 2, as you can see. All of our players loaded in. Oh.
Do we or any of the admins perhaps know if maybe Infinix is making the shift to phone over iPad? Because I know they were playing on iPad before.
Most of them were on phone before. I believe Tatio was one of the only players that was on iPad previously.
Well, I mean...
Yeah, nothing has changed. They're the same.
Nothing has changed according to the admins, so...
Yep.
Do have a couple kills trading off there early on. Soso and Envoy will meet their doom, as well as Dante. Tatio does break out a little bit, picks up a couple kills. It's now a 2 versus 2, and make that a 2 versus 1 as Cheto is the last alive. Gonna get gunned down by the DRH from Jez, and that's gonna be round 1 going over to Tragic.
Yeah, even with that happening, that's a really good sign for NL off the start, and Tatio picking up 3 frags because he could not get anything going at the start of last game. So for him to already be up at 3 kills in only 1 round played is definitely a really good sign. He's gonna push up right here, pretty exposed over mid, and gonna get taken out by the Arctic 50 in the hands of Space.
Wow,
I believe that was a 3-piece right there, all by himself. It's gonna be Envoy and Munoz remaining right here, and the Arctic 50 ACOG, something that we started to see more and more. Chaos picks up a frag right there. Envoy gonna be by himself. Picks up the frag onto A-Flows, but he's got players in all directions. He's not going to be able to land the shots. It will be Tragic going up to the 2-0 lead off the start, and they're picking up right where they left off. Space and Jez splitting the 3 kills, and that, I mean, with the way Space has been playing with this Arctic 50 ACOG, more than likely we're going to need to see some smoke plays coming in for Infinix. We do have a concussion going in, so that's going to slow the defense, but Chaos picks up a very quick 2-piece onto Envoy and Tatio right there. He's trying to land some more shots onto Cheto up above. He won't be able to get the kill shot quite yet. And Cheto's
what a shot, though!
Yep.
That was a great jump shot by Space to pick off Dante there, and once again, it's all of the members of NL kind of getting dropped pretty quickly here. They were able to get a couple trades out, but it's once again a player advantage for the side of Tragic. Space almost able to find another as well. NL really need to find a way to turn this around because they are in a dangerous spot in the scoreboard. Not only in this game, but again, as well in the actual standings for Mobile Mayhem Division 1 itself. So they definitely need to pull something together here and try to pick up some points because, again, if Xset is able to win today, Bobby, they could potentially drop out of 3rd place.
Yeah, the standings have been pretty crazy to watch, and even with Strike Zone getting a 2-0 win on Tuesday, that puts them, with how many teams are pretty low on the scoreboard in Division 1, in possible contention to where if they go 2-0 again today, it's unlikely when they're going up against Tribe, but if it happens, they're actually going to have a shot at making it into the playoffs as well. So crazy, crazy standings as of right now. Jez is going to catch Cheto from behind, and that is going to be a 3-0 lead for Tragic, who is just not getting a whole lot of fight out of this NL team. They're struggling a lot right now. Dante and Cheto both at 0 kills for Cheto. Your primary sniper and search and destroy, who's been so good for you even with the rest of the team struggles, to be at 0 kills through the first 3 rounds, just not a good sign. We'll see if he's able to find a pick right here, but going to be forced to retreat up to the top of shop, see if he can manage to find eyes on somebody. Nobody spotted quite yet, as we have yet to have a first blood for either team. Trying to see if he can maybe muster a wall bang, but nobody really peeking anything unnecessarily. We do have Space peeking right there, but he has proven to be deadly with that Arctic 50 ACOG, could potentially cause some issues. He's actually burning in the thermite, and for some reason decided to prone on top of it, and that's going to be a free kill for Tatio right there, as we do get A-Flows with a quick trade onto Munoz, evening things up. Chaos gets a double kill with the trip mine. Just painful to see if you're an NL fan. And now it's Cheto. Ooh, hitting the nice shot onto A-Flows right there. He's going to be concussed right here, but Envoy actually saves his life by getting the frag onto Jez. Cheto lands the shot onto Soso, and NL finally showing some signs of life right here as they went around, and we will be moving to 3-1 with Tragic still holding the lead.
Yeah, and that was pretty big for the side of NL there. I mean, Cheto before this round had not found a single kill, and I feel like that did lead to a lot of their struggles. Because, again, he has been kind of a top fragger for the team here today. Dante is currently struggling to find any kind of momentum here in Search and Destroy. But again, with Cheto picking up 3 kills that last round, it was really a lot of weight taken off the shoulders of NL. And then Envoy, again, was able to save Cheto's life, and then Cheto found the final kill. So great round for the side of NL there, but they definitely need to keep this momentum moving forward. And just like that, it's a big return from Tragic. It's now Cheto all alone against 4 members of Tragic. This is very likely going to be a 4-1 lead for them. And that is, you know, again, kind of a weird spot. I don't think any of us would have really thought coming into this season that we would have seen Infinex go from one of the top teams in the open season after season, and then be the champions last season, and then come in just so rough in this in our current Mobile Mayhem season 4.
Yeah, and Cheto's gonna get hit by the explosion right there, and somehow manages to escape, but unfortunately Space waiting for the rotation, looking over back alley. He's going to be able to land the shot with the Arctic 50, and that will be a 4-1 lead for Tragic off the start, as they've seemed next to unstoppable with a 1 round going over to NL, aka Infinix. Tatio, top fragging right now with 5 kills, so having a better time than he did last game, but still they have just not gotten the contributions they needed. Dante down at 0 kills right now. Tatio just not even able to get his thermite to land. Accidentally hits the phone pole right there, and there seems like everything going wrong at every turn for NL right now. You do have Tatio on the head glitch, seeing if he can find first blood. He does so as he takes out Soso with a clean shot over the top of the tank, and we now have Space in the back of spawn, just trying to see if he can peek that right angle and land one of these Arctic 50 shots. The nice thing about the stopping power is he can one-tap anywhere on the body, so even if he hits him on the foot, it's a GG. Trying around this corner and see if he can maybe peek over top of boxes, but it's actually going to get... It's going to be Chaos, who's got 9 kills on the board, finding the first frag for Tragic right there. He finds another one now already into double digits through the first 6 rounds. He's taking shots through the wall, but Cheto is waiting for him on the outside. And it's finally NL seeming to be in control. His Space is all by himself. He has caused a lot of issues with that Arctic 50 so far, so definitely don't count him out yet, but he's got a lot of work to do with Cheto, Envoy, and Tatio all alive. He's going to give away his location with that shot and now forcing it to a tough spot. Envoy's going to drop, but it will be Tatio picking up the frag, and NL stays alive a little bit longer as the score moves to 4-2.
Yeah, and it would take, obviously, several of the next upcoming rounds for them to do it, but there is room for them to potentially make a comeback and push us to a Game 3 if they're, again, if they're able to find the rotations, if they're able to find the kills. Space has been absolutely popping off. Chaos as well for the side of Tragic. Double digits for him, so excellent plays. Cheto does find the wallbang on to Chaos, does miss the follow-up onto Space, though. But that will give a 1-player advantage to the side of NL here, and maybe that last round was the beginning of a comeback, but Soso gonna find the kill onto Cheto there.
Yeah, Cheto got a little bit over-aggressive. I don't think he really needed to hop out of that window in blue, and that ended up costing him, as we did have Soso waiting for him with the sniper. Soso has had a great game so far, only 3 kills on the board, but his teammates doing enough of the work that it hasn't made too much of a difference. Envoy will be able to get the frag onto A-Flows right there. It will be a 1-man advantage. Soso getting the trade as he drops to Tio, who just peeked a little bit too long and sliding the corner. He must have heard me talking about him and decided to turn things up a little bit, as they will have a 1-man advantage. Now, Munoz and Dante still alive for Infinix. Dante looking to pick up that first kill. A-Plant will go down for Jez, and now the pressure is on for the 2 remaining Infinix players Dante would love to find a pick right here to make things a little bit more manageable. Obviously, we've got Tragic players now making that rotation over toward boxes, and Space just spraying with that chopper, seeing if he can maybe catch him off guard. It's actually Dante getting the frag. It's now a 2v1 for NL. They're actually looking really good right now. Munoz could potentially have an angle by which to push Space right here. He's not going to be able to make it happen. He clutches the 1v2. And just like that, we are at match point. Tragic going up 5-2.
Yeah, that was a really big fight for Space. They're able to clutch up for the team in the 1v2, bringing them to 5. They're now 1 round away from picking up 20 points for themselves. And again, denying Infinex points at this point. And Infinex are in a dangerous spot in this tournament. Cheto is able to find first blood, but Space going to answer back not too far behind, getting the kill onto Munoz. And Tio and Envoy both get dropped by Soso. This is looking like this might be a quick game 1 here, Bobby.
Yeah, Cheto's got to make something crazy happen, and it looks like he might be able to do it. He gets the frag onto Jez right there, spots a player top blue. We are going to have Chaos jumping inside, not trying to overexpose, and Soso waiting for him on the other side. The pressure on for Dante, who's only managed to get 1 kill so far. He would have needed a 1v3 to make it happen, and just like that, it's going to be an easy win for Tragic in game number 1. They get the 2-0, which will earn them 20 points, which is going to be absolutely crucial for them, especially with the division that they're in. As you can see right here, they are currently in 3rd place prior to this game. 20 points behind Tribe Gaming and 10 points behind Nova Imperium, but just like that, they will be tied for 1st place. And that is a much-needed win for them. Unfortunately for NL, they will not be able to move up in their standings. And that really opens up a door for both Violence and Xset, who have looked a lot better over the last couple of weeks. Big danger in sight for NL right now. We'll see if they can bounce back after this week, which has definitely been a rough one for them. But we do have lots more great games coming up, as you guys can see right here. Next up is going to be Gene Gaming versus Nova Imperium.
Yeah, and I mean, if I had to bet, I would say this is very likely going to be a pretty quick Nova Imperium 2-0, just off of how the two teams have performed, even with Nova Imperium playing a little bit on, I guess, the worst foot this season for them. Again, Gene has just really struggled. I don't think they have any points on the board at this point, and Nova Imperium is definitely one of the teams still competing for the top of the top. So unless if Gene comes out with a big surprise here, this might be a short game 2 as well. And Tragic definitely got to be loving the points that they were able to pick up here today. I mean, they made it look like a easy 2-0 up against the reigning champions. So Tragic definitely going to be a team to keep watching forward, as well as moving into the playoffs. Because again, these are for Tragic. This is a lot of players that, you know, a lot of teams made their subs. So if they were able to come through here in season 1 and or season 4 and get 1st place and really make a big name for themselves, I mean, that would be that'd be kind of a really big stick in the gut of all the teams that made them subs, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And they've really made a splash in their first season as an official team. So we'll see if they can carry that through. There's just, I mean, I've got no idea what's going to happen when it comes to the semifinals, especially if you look at Division 2. There's currently a whopping 40 points divided, or a whopping 40 points separating Tribe, Tragic, Nova Imperium, Exiled, and Gravity. So for us to have 5 teams that close is absolutely crazy. And even in Division 1, for there to be 20 points dividing NL Esports, Violence, and Xset, with Violence and Xset both yet to play tonight, that could be dwindling. That we could have 3 teams tied by the end of the night, depending on how things go. So a lot of potential for new teams to make it really far into places that we didn't expect them to, and also for some of these really experienced teams to potentially not even make it to the semifinals just because of how much talent we have developing.
Yeah, and how many open season days do we have left?
That is a good question, which hopefully the admins know the answer to.
5 more open season days. So I mean, I think even Strike Zone, if they were able to turn things around and win in the next couple weeks, they could easily jump up. I mean, they're what, 40 points behind Infinix right now, who have been massively struggling. So this really could go any way depending on how the next couple weeks develop. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't. It's not like I'm betting on Strike Zone to break out and get into the top 3, but they were able to pick up their second win, 2 10-point wins.
I think they won 2-0 against Gene on.
Oh, they won
Tuesday,
2-0 against Gene. Okay, yep.
Yeah. So because of that, I'm expecting this game is probably going to be relatively quick, even with Nova Imperium a lot of times playing below what they're capable of. I'm not anticipating.
Really bring that upon themselves.
Yeah, they're their own worst enemy. So they could make me eat my words right here, and they could end up dropping a map, and that will make life that much more difficult for them being in the most competitive division in Mobile Mayhem. As it seems, Tragic and Tribe putting up a really good fight, and Tribe with a good chance at moving up to 110 points going up against Strike Zone, who's one of the newer teams. So lots of implications for the games tonight.
Yeah, these specifically Division 2 is looking really, really tight. I mean, we definitely have some teams in Division 1 struggling. I mean, basically, if you're not fierce, you're struggling in Division 1. But Division 2 has been a lot of really high octane back and forth lineups. I mean, Tragic were able to pull together 20 points here and move up to tying first place. But obviously, Nova Imperium and Tribe Gaming haven't played today. So with Nova Imperium very likely going to pick up a 2-0 victory here over Gene, that will obviously put them into the 100-point range. But, at the same point, then we're now at Tribe still hasn't played today. And if Tribe is able to pick up a 2-0, that puts them at 110. So potentially a lot of movement around the top of the Division 2 standings here, depending on how the Nova Imperium and Tribe... Because, again, Nova Imperium have really been pushed into a lot of Game 3s that I don't think that they needed to be in.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if they drop the ball here, and don't pick up a 2-0 win, then that would be a really kind of awkward spot for them to be in, as then they would obviously just tie Tragic at 90 points, and then Tribe Gaming, if they're able to pick up 2-0, could potentially jump up to 110 and be a whole days of games ahead, at least a whole days of games ahead of Nova Imperium and Tragic. So,
just a heads up, you are on Nova Imperium right now.
I am on Nova Imperium right now.
There you go.
Gotcha.
All right, just waiting for...
They definitely don't need that level of handicap.
Waiting for the last real member of Nova Imperium. Oh, it looks like Zim is taking your place on Nova Imperium, actually.
Probably would do better than me, so that's probably all right.
I mean, he should. He's the greatest player in Mobile Mayhem history, so it's to be expected. But we got all of our players in. Should be good to go momentarily. Game 1 will be Hardpoint on Crash. Last week I actually talked to Vague about what happened in that first game of Crash Hardpoint, and it was exactly what we thought it was. They thought he was going to be able to get the nuke because he was 14 in, and then they lost focus of what they were doing, and then they ended up losing the game. So who knows? Maybe they'll get on a nuke streak right here and end up throwing game 1 anyway. Guess we'll have to wait and see, but just waiting on...
I mean, I think it was looking like we were on a nuke streak at like 14, and then I don't think another kill came for him for like 3 whole minutes. Like almost towards the end of the game before he picked up a couple more kills, so...
Yep.
Definitely a rough position to be in.
Just waiting on Piano, and we'll be good to go to get started in game number 2, and there we go.
All right, we will get into game 1, which is going to be Hardpoint on Crash for everybody here in chat, as you will likely see loading already. And if we had to guess, this is very likely going to be a one-sided matchup between Nova and Gene, but Nova Imperium have certainly struggled against a couple teams as well as with themselves, so anything could happen here as we do have Wally picking up first blood. We'll get the headshot on to Tala there.
Yep,
And Hax finds a couple of his own.
Yeah, right now the feed is pretty much all Nova Imperium. Cody's actually able to pick up a 2-piece on the inside of 3-story. He'll have that controlled for himself. That's going to be big for them. Unfortunately, Wally's going to spot him from the bottom side, laser him off the top, and with that, I believe all of Gene will be wiped out of 3-story, and that will open up things as Nova Imperium looks to take control. We do have iPiano spotted below. He's going to get taken out. Once again, all the points going over to Gene, but with the map control in the favor of Nova Imperium. More than likely, that will start to change pretty soon here as we do see Nova Imperium getting some time on that hill. Typically, P1, not one of the big indicators of what the final result will be, as a lot of these teams are trying to make that fight for the top of 3-story. And as you can see, Wally just frying with the GKS right now. And pretty big kill disparity.
I'm surprised Wally's not using the chopper on this map.
Yeah, I know he's been using the GKS a lot recently, and I actually used it earlier. It's a lot better than I gave it credit for, just because it pretty much has no recoil and no ADS bullet spread, so if you're hitting your shots, it's an absolute laser beam, and we are going to have Wally hopping up into the top of the 3-story Nova Imperium on the hill, and they will continue to tick upward as we've already got Hex pushing way out of the hard point and just trying to frag out right now as he's already at 6 kills on the board.
Yeah, absolutely. And as expected, off of a slow couple trickle points going back and forth on the first hard point, it has so far been mostly Nova control on the next. It's been mostly Nova in the kill feed. Shy of Codeine, who is actually tied for top frag right now with Hax and Swag. So Codeine definitely performing pretty well here. The rest of the team kind of struggling around him. Obviously, Jesus overtaked, Piano, Talha, all down at 1 and 2 kills respectively, is definitely a pretty rough situation to be in if you're going up against one of the top teams in the league. So as expected, Nova Imperium taking a pretty big lead. We do actually have some extra trickle points going on over at the beginning of the next hard point, which Gene had set up on. But with no shock and no time at all, Nova were able to come through. Swag with the Annihilator was able to pick up a couple kills. They've been knocked, or Gene has been knocked off of the point already, and it is looking pretty one-sided for Nova Imperium right now.
Yeah, we got Hax pulling out that Annihilator right there. He finds the first frag with it. We'll spot overtake right there as well. iPiano looking over the head glitch, but he won't be able to land the shots. Jesus will drop too, and with that, it's looking like it could be a pretty easy one-sided win, like you said, for Nova Imperium. I don't know. They might barely have enough time to win on this 4th hard point, especially with them getting max time and Hex already being on the hill. They will need to get this without any contest, but based on the way they're playing so far, looking like that won't be too much of a challenge with Vague pushing all the way out to 3-story. Still absolutely slaying with that Annihilator. He's going to spot overtake. He'll spot Tala as well. And especially with the Annihilators, it just seems like Nova Imperium has been untouchable. Vague already up to 17 kills. Swag at 12, make it 13. He's going to get a Goliath right there. And now only about 30 points away from Nova Imperium closing this one out.
Yeah, and if they are able to hold this hard point uncontested, they actually can win here off this one. Swag does have a Goliath inbound. I think he actually got taken out by a hunter killer drone, so kind of some pretty good memes there, but does look like this is very likely just going to be Nova closing this one out. High gets a triple kill before getting knocked off his Annihilator. Codeine, shy of making a really big play here, pushing in, was able to delay enough for them to stop the win from going over to Nova. But, I mean, with only 10 points to go and Gene being down at 27, it is certainly not looking ideal for them, especially with Nova set up on the next corner hardpoint, which is not only an incredible difficult hardpoint to break already, but the respawns are incredibly punishing if you aren't able to take the fight. And sure enough, that is going to be Nova picking up game 1 with a 150-27 lead. Not the worst game of Hardpoint we've ever seen, but definitely Nova had a commanding victory there.
Yeah, and that was, like we said, not too surprising to see. Vague with a nice 22, and unfortunately for Gene, you had Cody in at 16 and 13, and then everybody else going quad negative or worse, which is just typically not going to end up getting you the dub. And yeah, they're just going to need to put more hours in. Sometimes that's the way that the cookie crumbles, and there are a lot of newer teams here. We do see High with actually, I'll give him credit, 2 minutes and 24 seconds on the hill, so some major OBJ time for him right there. And with that, we will be good to go for game number 2, which is going to be Search and Destroy on firing range. With all the sniper power over on Nova Imperium, if I had to guess, this one will probably be over pretty quickly, but we will have to wait and see as we get ready for these players to ready up.
Yeah, and I will admit, Codeine actually did pretty solid for the side of Gene in that game. I mean, overall, I know how it can be very difficult when you are trying to make all of the ground yourself. So, with not a lot of help, Codeine really shined here for Gene, maybe moving into Search and Destroy. As we do often see, some teams just perform better in Search and Destroy as opposed to Respawn. So, maybe if he's able to get a little bit more help out of the team coming through onto the Search and Destroy matchup, maybe they're able to turn things around, push us to a game 3, which, again, looking at it being Nova Imperium quite often back themselves into a corner on accident, just from, I guess, playing with their food too much. So anything's really possible here in this next matchup. I despite Gene underperforming through the season, I don't want to count them out for the Search and Destroy matchup yet.
Yeah, we will have Jesus pulling out the sniper, so he will be battling Swag, one of the most well-known snipers in Mobile Mayhem. He honestly hasn't been at his best recently. Maybe in a little bit of a sniper slump. He's been pretty good in the respawns with ARs and SMGs, but hasn't really had any of those breakout performances that we had seen of him in previous seasons. So we'll see if he can turn that around, as we do have a very easy B push coming in for Nova Imperium. Tall is trying to push up right here. He's going to take the RPG shot, but won't be able to get the frag onto Hex, who gets the bomb plant down. 2 players down for each team. Hex finally able to regen, just waiting for Tala to peek that top side. Won't do it quite yet, and a little game of chicken, and it's actually going to be High taking out Tala from behind. Now Piano and Overtake alive. Trying to make this push. We do have Swag taking some sniper shots across, and we actually have Overtake taking out Swag right there, so it's going to be a 2v2, but with High and Hex getting those final 2 frags, it will be a round 1 victory for Nova Imperium.
Yeah, and it was a pretty solid round for them as well. Jesus Could Save You was the only player to get an opening pick. Overtake did pick up a couple kills there early on, or through the middle of that round for the team, but overall, even with a couple kills on the board, it felt very heavily in Nova's control, and moving into round 2, it very likely may look the same, but once again, Gene do get the first blood, as we do have a tripmine kill onto High. A little bit unfortunate for him there, but hey, it happens.
Yeah, Overtake actually gets a couple frags off the start right there as he picks up 1 with a trip mine. He's going to be able to get the GKS shots as well. It's a 3v3. We do have 1 player up on the top side, or on the back side, but Piano actually gets the frag onto Vague, and now Swag looking to find shots. Following that hit marker, it's going to be Hex taking out Tala. Now a 2v2 as he takes out Piano as well. Overtaked all by himself, but he's got 4 frags so far. Hex, however, has had a big performance for Nova Imperium so far. 4 kills through 2 rounds. Overtake is ready, but unfortunately, Swag's going to slide in the backside with his Fennec and get the frag right there, and Nova Imperium will now move up to a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, 2-0 lead. Overtake top fragging for his team this time around. Codeine, the player that really shined in our first matchup on Hardpoint, unable to find a kill this time around. 1-for-1 trade back and forth as Jesus is able to pick up hacks, but does get dropped by Wally, who is using a sniper. Little different, not often something we see out of him, but he will get dropped by the rocket there as well. And now Gene actually have a big opportunity to take this round as they do have a 2-player advantage, 4-2 currently, with Swag and Vague being the remaining players for the side of Nova. They absolutely could clutch it up for the team here, but again, Gene being on defense, they really can just play the clock here and play it safe and kind of bait out some kills on corners. I mean, again, you're on defense. You really don't have to rush, cover your grounds, and go from there. Swag does have bomb picked up, but is kind of hanging back in the locker room at this point. So he's going to have to move up here eventually and get the plant. And again, they do have a pretty locked down 1-for-1 trade. And now it is a lonely Swag about to die.
Yup, he had no idea Tala was in the corner right there. That's going to be an easy frag for Gene Gaming. You can tell he really wanted the 1v4 right there, but unfortunately did not check the necessary corner. And we will have Gene taking at least one round, as we do have Nova on the attack once again. And pretty content to smoke mid and make their pushes. We're actually going to see High making the rotation over toward B site, where it looks like they will be going for the plant once again. Trophy's going down, and Hex going to go in for the plant right here. We've yet to really see a B defense from Gene, and that's going to make for a difficult retake. However, Jesus, getting the snipe onto Vague, making things a little more manageable. We got one player pushing tire side. He's not going to make the push in yet, and Jesus gets another snipe onto Wally. Now a 2-man advantage for Gene Gaming. They could potentially tie things up right here. Players pushing through the smoke. It will be Codeine getting the frag. There's a trade coming in. Couple trades. High gets one, but so does Codeine. It's going to be High all by himself. He's got to try to land shots over top of the Heglish. He's not going to be able to make it happen. And Gene Gaming is actually going to tie things up here at 2-2.
And this is exactly why I said I wasn't going to count out Gene Gaming for Search and Destroy up against Nova Imperium. Gene tend to do a little bit better in Search and Destroy, and at Nova Imperium kind of tend to slack a little bit in Search and Destroy. I mean, you know, example given, Swag in that 1v4 potentially that he had. I mean, you're really just not giving yourself the full benefit of the try if you're not checking your corners in Search and Destroy, right? So, yeah. Unfortunately, Nova, they get a little ahead of themselves. They make mistakes. They get overconfident. And I think that Gene actually has some really big potential to use that against them here.
Yeah, and we got right here, Jesus picking up 5 kills. They've got now a 3-man advantage, making a 4-man advantage. Hax is all by himself against these remaining players, and based on everything that we saw in that first game of Hardpoint, Nova Imperium should have every advantage. They've got the better sniper in Hex, or in Swag, at least based off everything that we've seen in the past in Mobile Mayhem, and yet Jesus is top fragging with the sniper with 5 kills on the board. It seems like they've got the ability to win their gunfights. They just seem to lack either the confidence in Search and Destroy or the seriousness to actually play it the way that they need to, and now Hax is going to be forced to make this push over toward the bomb. He's only got 11 HP to work with, as well as 45 seconds. And with 5 people on the bomb site, like I don't know how he makes that happen, especially with one player inside that little cubby over to the side. I think he might be. No, he doesn't even peek it right there. He's going to get shot from behind. Coding's going to turn on him, get the frag right there, and just like that, Gene Gaming is going to take the lead, 3-2.
Yeah, and that was a big kill from Codeine there. Hax had first shots out, and Codeine was able to get the turn. So that's not a mistake of not checking your corners. That was just a gunfight that, again, Gene was able to take over the side of Nova here. That one I can't even chalk up to overconfidence, and that's a lot of just Codeine has actually been a really star player here on the side of Gene. He was top fragging in Hardpoint. He is now top fragging once again in Search and Destroy. A couple members of Nova do fly on in. Vague gets a double kill, but they don't. I don't know if they know bomb was down there. I mean, you have to assume they would check when the smoke's gone, but it is now a 3 versus 3.
And honestly, had Vague not had the bat out right there, he would have had another frag, and it would now be a 3v2 for Nova Imperium, but he had the bat out, tried to go for the flashy kill, and now they're at a 3-2 disadvantage, making a 3-1 disadvantage. Swag, all by himself. Once again, the bomb plant is going to go in. Swag's going to land the pistol shots, but Codeine's waiting for him with the DRH, and Now, what was a 2-0 lead for Nova Imperium has turned into a 4-2 lead for Gene Gaming, who has taken 4 rounds in a row.
Yep, and they are in a really good position here to take this entire matchup off of Nova Imperium again if they don't start taking it seriously. But, I mean, again, you can't always boil it down to that because Jesus has had really good opening picks for the side of Gene, as well as COD, and has just flat out won gunfights that he really shouldn't have. I mean, if we're going to be honest, he's won a couple gunfights that he shouldn't have had, where Nova had first shots on him and he was able to make the turn. Swag will, fortunately for the side of Nova Imperium, pick up the first blood onto Jesus there, but it is quickly answered back as 3 kills come over to the side of Gene for a 3-2 advantage. And, you know, they could potentially be in game point off of this round.
And this is the swag that we're used to seeing. The dark scope onto piano. He hit markers onto the inside of trailer. Gets the frag right there. That could have potentially been an ace for him had Wally not gotten the frag right there. And that is the Nova Imperium that we expect to see, especially in Search and Destroy. Your sniper has got to show up. And we're finally seeing that out of Swag as he has now moved to top frag for his team with 7 kills on the board. That will move Nova Imperium a little bit closer and give them more of a shot. If I had to guess, Swag probably sending a little bit of a message to the other team right there. We'll see if he can continue it, and here we go. The frags finally start to come in for Nova Imperium. High gets a 2-piece. Hex gets a 2-piece for himself. Jesus going to be the only player remaining. He's got the Akimbo Deagles. He's actually going to get a frag right there as he takes out Wally. That'll allow him to pick up the GKS. Perfect positioning with the sniper, but he won't be able to land the shot, and now going to be forced into a tough spot over on the B site. Push is coming in, hits the dark scope onto Swag. Looking like the 1v5 could be manageable right here. He takes out High as well. Can't quite hit the shots onto Hex, and what could have been an absolutely miraculous play, unfortunately, not going to be able to come quite to fruition, as we will have Nova Imperium tying things back up at 4-4.
Yeah, Jesus can save you. Definitely popping here on the side of Gene, though. Again, even game right now. It is 4-4. Still anybody's win potential. We did see 4 rounds in a row go over to the side of Gene Gaming before. They do have bomb as well now, so I would... again, I would kind of typically give the bomb planters advantage here, but it is Vague picking up first blood on piano with the bat there. Overtakes, gets a triple for the team, though. This could be absolutely huge for the side of Gene Gaming. They now have a 3-2 advantage. They have bomb in hand, potentially could get the B-side plant. I don't know if they know that Swag is overlooking B right now, but definitely a lot of opportunity. Both members of Nova do have snipers out, so if Swag or Wally miss the shots, they absolutely could get punished for it. Kind of like right there, Jesus pops out of locker room, gets the kill onto Swag, and now it's a lonely Wally up against the rampaging team here of Gene, who very likely will go up 5-4 here, with Jesus top fragging for the team with 11, Coding not too far behind with 8, as well as Overtake popping off with 8 kills. So shy of Wally finding himself a 3-piece here and a defuse in the next 30 seconds, then this should be Gene Gaming 5-4.
And this is just a really tough spot for Wally to try to make a push right here. He's going to need to find a pick, but with only a sniper in hand, trying to push into a trailer with 3 players on the inside, he's just not going to be able to make it happen. That allows Gene Gaming to now move to game point in a match where pretty much everybody expected them to probably get 6-1 or 6-0'd, so for them to be even close to winning a match is a huge accomplishment for them, especially as a team that is yet to win a match in Mobile Mayhem. They've won maps, but have not yet won an entire game, and looking like they could potentially take away some more points from a Nova Imperium team that has continued to drop points in situations where they just shouldn't. We do have High picking up a frag right there, trying to take shots through smoke. Unfortunately for him, Codeine is waiting. He's now in double digits with 10 on the board. Same for Jesus. Nobody in double digits over on Nova Imperium, but the frags starting to come in. It will be Jesus and Overtake, who are definitely 2 of the guys you would like to see there if you're Nova Imperium. Jesus waiting in the top side. just waiting for the shots to come through. Somehow Hack's able to win that gunfight. Jesus all by himself, looking to clutch the 1v3. He's got the deagles out. He's been loving them so far, and he's got a sniper to work with. He's probably going to need to pull it out if he's going to be able to make this happen, especially with Nova Imperium knowing exactly where he is right now. He's going to go for the reposition as he makes the rotation through wood, now into tower, and I love this play. Expecting him to pull out the sniper. He spots Wally but can't hit the shot, but he hits the follow-up. He's now in a 1v1. What was a tough to make happen 1v3 is now doable, but he's got swag to contend with. One of the top snipers in Mobile Mayhem who has started to pop off in this game. He sees him right there. He's going to try to slide, land the shot. Won't be able to make the first one happen.
Landed that shot, though.
That would have been one for the record books, and he's now going to slide back over toward Tin's side. He may actually make the push with the deagles right here. He actually saw Swag, but Swag somehow turns and hits the flick onto him, and just like that, we're going to be tied up at 5-5.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm all out rooting for Gene. Gonna be flat out honest here, Bobby. I think they've put the effort in. I think they deserve this one. Even if they don't win the whole series, I think they deserve this one.
Yep, and we got Jesus pushing down over onto the B site, and we now have pretty much everybody from Nova Imperium pushing to A. I'm a little bit surprised to see this, given that Gene did not defend B a single time. I guess that's part of the reason why they expected the push from Nova Imperium, but that's going to be a really easy A plant for them, and the defensive strategy does end up backfiring. Hacks trying to jump over top of the head glitch, and Jesus looking for the snipe, but it's going to be Swag waiting for him on the other side, and things starting to fall apart quickly. Oh, it seemed like it was, but it's actually going to be a 2v3. Not a terrible spot to be if you are this Gene Gaming team. Kills coming in, but unfortunately, it's not going to be enough, and just barely. Nova Imperium will stay alive. They will get the win, and they will get the 20 points for the day, which they absolutely needed, especially in that competitive Division 2.
Yeah, they absolutely did. I mean, we definitely touched on that earlier. I mean, even with the 20 points there, they may be in first temporarily, but Tribe is only 10 points behind and hasn't played yet. So definitely a lot of opportunity for Tribe, as well as a lot of importance relying on the Tribe game moving forward. I mean, Nova Imperium, they absolutely need to step it up in Search and Destroy. I mean, you know, these are kids that we had always kind of referred to as kind of the top echelon of Search and Destroy players. I mean, dating all the way back into Season 1 of Mobile Mayhem, I mean, they had a lot of these players at least had the highest record on Search and Destroy. I think, you know, like high swag, they would have been, I think, 7 for 9 in Search and Destroy. And all of the games they've dropped lately are Search and Destroy. So, I mean, even here, they went all the way into a game 11 versus Gene Gaming, and it boiled down to what? There's one player left on the side of Nova. That is not what we expect to see out of them in Search and Destroy. So I don't know if it's actually them having fallen off in Search and Destroy, or if it's trolling to a degree, or what's going on, but it's definitely not the Nova Imperium you'd expect to see in a Search and Destroy matchup.
For sure, we'll see if they can start to turn things around. As we do get ready to hop into game number 3, it is going to be Tribe Gaming versus Strike Zone, and even though Tribe is absolutely going to be favored in this matchup, no question, we have seen a lot of upsets as of late. Not necessarily in matches as a whole, but in specific maps where we expect to see some of these top teams really shine. You just start to see some of those underdogs putting up a real fight and potentially sneaking away with one. We very nearly saw it right there. We saw it on Tuesday with Fearless. Just a lot of big opportunities for some of these smaller teams to make a name for themselves, and Strike Zone will absolutely be looking to do that here as they go up against Tribe Gaming, who is currently, as we take a look at the standings, up at the top of Division 2. Tied with Tragic, but with Tragic having already played today, they would like to be able to move up to that one spot. Nova Imperium, I believe, not having received their points in the standings as of yet, so Tribe would like to be able to move up above them. We'll see if they're able to do so. We did actually have Strike Zone getting their first points in Mobile Mayhem on Tuesday, as they got the 2-0 win against Gene Gaming. With them probably getting a little bit of confidence out of that, we'll see if it allows them to maybe make some waves and cause some issues for this Tribe Gaming team.
Yeah, and again, a lot rides on the board for Tribe here, as Nova, off of their 2-0 win, were able to bounce themselves up 10 points against Tribe. So Tribe desperately need the 2-0 victory here to regain first place. Obviously, if they win a 2-1, they could still tie for first place. But if they do drop their games here and end up losing the series, that would be certainly a massive upset for Strike Zone there. Strike Zone, I believe, are sitting down at 20 points on the roster, and Tribe Gaming, again, one of the leaders of Division 2. And again, potentially the first place team once again for Division 2 if they pick up 2-0 victory here. So definitely important for them. Strike Zone, we talked a little bit about earlier, down at 20 points in Division 1. If they're able to turn things around either here today or even in the upcoming weeks, they are not out of the Division 1 championship side of things, at least. So we'll have to keep an eye on them and where they are able to go, because realistically, they're 2-2-0s away from tying Infinex at this point, who lost 0-2 today. So
yeah.
Definitely a lot of incentive to play well here on the side of Strike Zone.
Yeah, just goes to show you nothing is guaranteed for any of these teams, regardless of what your past record is or how much success you've had before. You got to continue to practice. You got to continue to focus on that team chemistry and especially on your team communication, which we've seen be such a crucial aspect for this Tribe Gaming team. And it's the team that's been together the longest. This team dates all the way back to, I think, pre-Mobile Mayhem, and they've been together for just such a long time. So many of these players having played together in the past, and you can see, even, I think, Seasons 1 and 2 of Mobile Mayhem, people were starting to question whether or not Tribe was actually going to be able to be a viable competitive team against some of these tablet players, but they've really improved a lot, and now, despite the fact that they're playing on a smaller device, they're still able to hold their own and even be at the very top of the division up against a lot of teams that have younger players on maybe bigger devices. But the strategy and the practice and all the time put in for this Tribe Gaming team has absolutely paid off. We'll see if it continues to do so as we wait for our Strike Zone team to load in. And with that, we should be good to hop into our first matchup, which is going to be Hardpoint Standoff.
Yeah, and Tribe have really made a massive comeback for themselves. I mean, again, a lot of it could be boiled down to, obviously, they made the switch from tablets to phone very early on, since that was going to be the requirement for them to play in, what was it, Season 4 of Champs?
Yep.
Yeah, Stage 4 of Champs. So they made that switch early on, definitely struggled for quite a bit. And, I mean, again, Season 2, bottom of the barrel, did not perform very well at all. I believe they were dead last in the season. They kind of came back in Season 3 with some middling performances, performed very well some days, performed on the underside of things on other days. And Season 4 here has been an absolute powerhouse out of them. We've had a couple players who we would not have considered to be kind of like the hyper carries for them in the past have now really shown brightly. Lil B has done great. Marshy has been a really solid player. Leon has been an incredibly consistent player for them. And honestly, I'm glad to see Tribe performing really well after, again, they struggled for quite a long time making that switch to phones. But it appears to be working out for them in the end of it.
Yep. Just waiting for our last couple players. We do have a couple notable players. Resume, known for his infamous, we'll call it a mistake, in the first qualifiers for Stage 4 Mobile Mayhem, has definitely bounced back and been a really crucial part for this Strike Zone team. Some of you who watched Stage 4 might remember Poppy, the greatest bat player in the history of Call of Duty Mobile. We'll see whether or not he makes an appearance tonight. Saints, another one of those strike zone players that's been a really big part of a team that has struggled some this season, but has definitely improved a significant amount as well. And excited to see what they offer to the competitive scene of Call of Duty Mobile, which is continuing to grow. We do have Band joining the lobby as well, so just one more player needed before we are good to go for game number 4. And Band actually left, so I guess he's not playing tonight. But yeah, a lot of these teams just waiting for information about not only Stage 5, but also what Call of Duty Mobile competitive is going to look like in 2021. Hopefully, as Activision starts to adapt to some of the changes that we've been forced into with COVID and everything else, hopefully soon we'll start to get a better picture of what the long-term plans are for Call of Duty Mobile, especially with a lot of the bigger teams and bigger names looking to invest in the competitive scene. Teams like, I believe, Optic has created content around it. You've had 100 Thieves announcing that they're going to be investing in Call of Duty Mobile. New York Subliners giving some attention to it as well. So very good chance we'll start to see some of those names enter the scene as we do move into the more established phase of Call of Duty Mobile competitive. But we do have all of Strike Zone loaded up. We're just waiting for one player to ready up, and we should be good to go for game number 3.
I think this is match 3.
3, yes.
Yeah, because we had Tragic versus NL, and then we had Gene versus Nova, and now here we are with Tribe versus Strike Zone. And if I was a betting man, I would say that Tribe is going to leave at the beginning of this game. But
all right.
I would say Tribe overall have the advantage in this matchup. But Strike Zone definitely has some strong players that we need to keep an eye out for. Resume, again, as you mentioned, kind of a infamous play for his bomb drop, but you know, we've overall seen him do pretty well. Band and B-Thug as well have also been exceptional players. So
yeah, looks like a couple Tribe players needed to make some adjustments, so we will allow them to do that before we hop back into it. And we've got all hit. Just waiting on Leon, and we're good to go.
I wonder how much of the GA we're going to see today, because I don't think we've seen any of it yet.
We have not seen the GA yet. Looking at, so Nova Imperium was one of the teams that said they tried to abide by the GA, but the team they went up against didn't abide. So the only other teams, I think we had Exiled abided by it in game number 1 on Tuesday, but I don't think they're playing in tonight's game, and I can't remember who they went up against in that matchup.
Enemy contact.
Exiled played again. I can tell you.
And we do have Bolu getting 2 frags off the start. Apparently, the HVK not banned in this matchup. I'm very curious. So the ASM-10 was banned by Tribe, and the Chopper was banned by Strike Zone. So if I had to guess, probably going to see 10 HVKs in play. Currently, we see 8 with 2 players using an RUS-79U and a Locust, respectively. Definitely expecting Saints to make that change soon. Hey, the only player that might not make the change, just as we know, people that love to respawn snipe just love to respawn snipe regardless of what the meta is. We do see Tribe taking a 20-point lead off the start, but we do have Strike Zone set up pretty well for that next hardpoint. Leon waiting for Hey to make the peak, but he's not going to be able to land the shots quite yet regardless. Even with the concussion nade on the way in, he'll be able to stay alive a little bit, but Childs comes storming in. He and Bolu picking up frags left and right, and just like that, Tribe Gaming gets the break on P2.
Yeah, Tectonic with a strong open as well as Bolu, as they both have 5 kills on the boards. Child's actually doing a great job too, and a player that I should have mentioned earlier, really been a breakout player for the Tribe roster this season, has really stepped their game up since the since Season 2 and Season 3, so glad to see it. You love to see it, but overall, Tribe a incredibly dominant performance right now as they are crossing over the 70-point mark. 12 points on the board for the side of Strike Zone. And it was fierce that Exiles went up against on Tuesday, and they were actually able to push it to a Game 3, which was pretty strong performance out of them. So definitely a lot to look forward out of Exiled moving forward as well. But I do think they will be the off-stream match today, so we won't get to see them today.
Yep. And we do have Tectonic now up to 8 kills on the board. As expected, lots of HVKs in play. Still, I believe, 8 in total, and we will have Childs pushing up. He'll take control of the hard point right there. Band is able to get the trade. Resume actually having himself a little bit of a game right now. He's got 8 kills on the board, as we do have Strike Zone getting a little bit of time on the hill. He's looking to pick up kill number 10 to put him in double digits, and waiting for a Tribe player to round the corner. Playing patiently, he's able to take out Little B, just barely misses the kill shot onto Tectonic. Childs and Tech combining for 17 so far, and Resume actually being the first player to move into double digits. They've got some solid time on the hill so far, and looking like they'll be able to move up to around 60 points heading out of this hard point. And Resume just continuing to fry. 12 kills now for him, despite Saints only having 1 kill on the board. A little bit surprised he hasn't made the switch to the HVK yet. We do have Tribe in control of the next hard point, so it's going to be up to Resume to try to get the break here with the Annihilator.
Yeah, and Tribe have just been pretty overly dominant for the most part when it comes to the gunfights. As you mentioned, the Resume really showing himself strong right now. 12 kills on the board to tie Tectonic, who we have not seen top frag actually for at least consistently like he used to for a while for the side of Tribe. So glad to see him kind of back in action with a strong performance here. Does lose out the gunfight there to Arthug, but there is a chance for Tribe to make the rotation over. A couple Annihilators out will help them clean it up, but it is going to be Childs trying to get in and find the final kill that they need, but the War Machine from GG will stop it for a second. Tribe now back on the point again, ticking some score away here, but Strike Zone not that far behind, only about 30 points behind at this point. So, you know, with it being Tribe had a 70-point lead on Hardpoint 2, it's been a big comeback for the side of Strike Zone, and they are still very much in the possibility of winning this if Tribe aren't able to close it out here with the strong performance. I mean, again, Resume really dominating here on the side of Strike Zone. 17 kills on the board for him, or 16 on the board for him, and not too far behind Tectonic at 17. Child's not far behind there with 13.
And Resume had full streaks just a second ago. Called in that Pred missile. Gets some big value out of it. Tectonic up to 19 kills. Is showing just what he can do when he does use a metal weapon. And he is frying right now. We got another cluster strike on the way in as Resume calls his in. We will have Tectonic spotting Hey from up above. Getting a nice 2-piece right there. That's going to be 21 kills, but just like that, Saints able to take him out, even though he's only got 4 kills on the board. He's going to be able to hop into the hard point and get a couple seconds up there. Band struggling a little bit to win the gunfight. Not really even a gunfight against Little B, but to shoot him in the back, he's going to get taken out. Resume hopping into his Goliath. I'm not sure if I love the positioning of this call-in. We do have Tectonic on the hill in a Goliath of his own, so we'll see if they can make this push right here. Bolu waiting for Resume on the outside, and it will be Battle of the Goliaths. Tectonic's going to end up winning that, but Band able to take him out with the FHJ. Still a pretty close game by all measures, but with another Goliath in play, looking like there's a good chance that Tribe closes this one out.
Yeah, it sure looks to be the case. Tribe had a phenomenal performance here. Specifically Tectonic, who I've actually been very hard on this season, had a phenomenal game here, dropping 24 kills. 9 kills over the next closest player on the team, as well as obviously well above a majority of the side of Strike Zone, I believe. Let me double check here. Resume, it was also up there. ended up with 18 kills on the board for himself. So big performance out of him, despite being on the losing side of things, able to really help carry his team through. Definitely got to see a little bit more out of Gigi and Saints. At 8 and 15 and 5 and 16 respectively. Now Saints did play a lot of anchor and objective control, so we got to give him credit where it's due. But overall, Tribe just had really strong performance in their gunfights here today, despite the phenomenal rotations coming out of Strike Zone.
Yep, and that will be a little bit closer of a game than I think we expected. I think most Tribe players probably would have expected that to be a blowout, so for Strike Zone to play that as closely as they did, definitely a good sign, and typically it seems like the underdog has had a better chance at sneaking away with a search and destroy in Mobile Mayhem, especially as of late. So we'll see if they can manage to do so, especially with potentially, I think, if I had to guess, Tectonic's probably going to be sniping for Tribe. That's been the role that we've seen most commonly for them, is Little B has started to move away from that sniper role. But we'll see what that ends up being, who his counter will be, as we know that the sniper is so crucial, especially on Meltdown Search and Destroy, where you got those long angles both across mid and across the B side. It's typically only on the A pushes where you don't really see them as much of a factor. So good chance that we do see a lot of A pushes for Tribe. Just waiting for one player to ready up, and we should be good to go for game number 2.
Yep, and we will get in that. And normally we would say that the underdog has the biggest potential to change things around for Search and Destroy. I actually think this is potentially the one matchup I would not say that's the case, because I do think Strike Zone is a stronger respawn team than they are Search and Destroy. And Tribe, while they were once the stronger respawn team, I actually think Tribe is an incredibly strong Search and Destroy team at this point. So I do have to say I think this is going to be a massive uphill struggle for the side of Strike Zone, especially going up against Tribe on a map like Meltdown, where Tribe can absolutely take to the range advantage as much as they want on offense, which is the second half. So we do have some opportunity for Strike Zone early on to use kind of the bomb planter's advantage of your whole team being able to rotate together. But like you mentioned, Tectonic does have the sniper out. We've seen him with some pretty strong performances. Lil B with the GKS out, pretty good at range just due to the accuracy and low recoil. So Tribe have the advantage if they push B, but we do have Strike Zone actually pushing B pretty aggressively and uncontested, which is a little bit of a shock here for me.
Yep, and we do have kills coming in, trades for both sides. Child's missing a shocking amount of shots right there. He's not able to get the frag onto Saints. Tectonic's able to clean things up. Trades coming in left and right. 2 players remain for each team. Tectonic and Leon still alive. Arthug all by himself against the 2 remaining players. He's not going to be able to land the shots. It will be Leon shooting the body with his RPG, and the defuse will go in as Tribe takes round 1, and even though things were pretty close, they seem to be in control for the most part. As expected, Tectonic playing the sniper role, able to get the initial pick right there, which was really big. But Leon coming in really big for them now with 3 kills on the board through the first round. Tectonic throwing out the concussion, and it looks like it's actually going to be a full-on A-site send. Lots of concussion action. Ooh, and Bolu and Leon cleaning up big time. GG gonna be the only player remaining for Strike Zone. Tectonic waiting for him, and Leon 6 kills through the first 2 rounds, having himself a game right now.
Yeah, I mean, and again, we did talk about Leon being a really big breakout player for Tribe, specifically in this season. One of the players that we saw struggle the most in Season 2, really coming through with a big turnaround for himself. So big kudos to him there. Tectonic 3 kills on the board, Bolu with 2 as well. Lil B and Child struggling to get on the board, as Child actually does pick up his first kill, but I mean, it's kind of hard to say they're struggling to get on the board when Leon was just so dominant in the first 2 rounds. I mean, between Leon and Tech, that's 9 out of 10 kills required for the first 2 rounds. So,
Just
definitely a rough spot to be in if you are the side of Strike Zone. And again, I did expect them to struggle quite a bit moving on into Search and Destroy against Tribe. So that has absolutely been the case. As Tectonic comes through with a big double kill there. Almost able to find the third one as well, but Bolu is able to turn the corner and pick that one up. 3-0 now for the side of Tribe.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know how Resume didn't see Tech over on the bomb head glitch. At least on my screen, saw him very distinctly. Maybe have a different FOV, but seemed pretty obvious right there. But Tectonic, like we said, even going into that round, already having a big game. He and Leon now combining for 11 kills through 3 rounds. That between the two of them, 3 apiece at least, and it's finally going to be banned. Getting the first blood, as it looks like Strike Zone might find a way to sneak away with a round right here. Saints, who is yet to pick up a kill, getting the bomb plant down right there, and that will allow them to set up. Not sure how I feel about the usage of the GKS on an A-site push. Typically, you want something that will thrive a little bit more in the close range, but his teammates able to make things happen right here. However, it will be a 2v2, and he's actually going to end up winning the gunfight against Challenge right there, and just like that, Strike Zone is able to get their first round win, and that will move us to 3-1.
And that was a big opportunity for Strike Zone to try to stop the momentum here. And if they are able to come through with something, this is kind of their chance to turn things around, because Tribe have a pretty big advantage right now. Leon is playing absolutely cracked at 7 kills on the board here in the 4th round. Tectonic not too far behind with 5. Band actually does pick up first blood on to Bolu there. That's a big opening, but Child's there to answer back, not too far behind. And right now, we actually do have a 4-2, make it a 3-1 advantage for the side of Strike Zone. This is a big opportunity for them to get themselves another point on the board. They'll get the free bomb plant down on A, and now all 3 members can set up a defense here. Yep. And Lil B, who has been one of the stronger performers of Tribe, has been struggling here so far this game. Again, kind of hard to determine if it's struggling as much as it was just his team performing really well. But he does pick up the first kill onto Resume there, making this a much more plausible clutch for him. If he's able to pick up 2 more kills, well, he is going to die to Saints there. But still a 1-round advantage for the side of Tribe.
Yeah, just some bad timing right there for him, as he did get spotted from behind and made that gunfight a lot more difficult than it would have been. With that, we are going to have Tribe on the offensive side in full sending over to B. This is one thing we've seen from them a lot. Whatever they do in Search and Destroy, they do it aggressively, sending out all of their utility. It's actually going to be Artha getting a 2-piece off the start, and the aggression, which is it's a double-edged sword. It's either extremely effective or extremely disastrous, and with Leon being the only player remaining right here, looking like it could be more on the disastrous side, he'll rotate toward mid and see if he can manage to find a pick right here, especially with the bomb being down over by generators. He's going to get spotted across mid, trying to bait out some shots right there, but just not quite able to slide the times right. Oh my, time to slide right. He's actually able to take out Arthog right there, now pre-firing the corner. And you can tell Strike Zone very content to sit back and wait for him to make the move. With how much accuracy he had on that last gunfight, I'm not sure if you want to leave something up to the Peeker's advantage. And with 10 kills on the board for Leon, he's absolutely got the confidence to make it happen right there. He spots Resume, but not going to make the shots land. Resume turns, gets the frag, 9 kills on the board for him. And Strike Zone will tie things up at 3-3.
Yeah, Strike Zone are actually doing a great job capitalizing on stopping the momentum that Tribe had, so big kudos to them. Resume, once again, top fragging for the team, really kind of keeping the team in it, in all honesty. Band also doing a fair share himself with 5 kills on the board. We are now tied, and we are in the second half, which means Tribe
Did you happen to see that nade that Resume just threw?
I didn't. I was on Saints at the time.
Yeah, he just kind of threw it into oblivion. I'm not really sure what was happening right there, but
I'll try to catch it on the stream.
yeah, he stays alive, and that's what counts. So we do have Tribe. Seeing that the offensive aggressive approach didn't really work out a whole lot for them on the first try. So with that playing very, very passive off the start, it looks like they will now move over to the B-side push and pulling out their utility as they do. Kind of full sending it all at once. It's going to allow Little B to get a frag with the Thermite, but the trades come in quickly. 3 players remain for each team. Little B now beaming with that GKS. He's going to try to find Saints on the backside. Spots him right there, landing his shots. Wow, the accuracy right there, and that's going to leave Resume by himself against Bolu and Little B. But that HVK, 0 damage drop-off. Definitely not a broken weapon. Doesn't need a nerf at all. That gives Resume 11 kills on the board, and he's going to be looking to get this final pick on the Little B. A little bit surprised at how aggressive he's being. Little B actually takes the shot, and it's going to backfire right there as it allows Resume to clutch up. And that's actually going to give Strike Zone the lead at 4-3.
And I think a lot of this is exactly why we normally see the HVK banned by the stronger team, because of just how effective it is at closing the skill gap. Just for everybody in chat, just a reminder, the bans this matchup were the ASM-10 by Tribe and the Chopper by Strike Zone. So HVK is allowed in this matchup.
And we got Resume pushing in, trying to find frags, not able to make it happen. Tectonic pulling out the GKS of his own. And it will be only 2 players remaining for Strike Zone right here. Arthug and GG looking to make the push. GG peeking over top, very nearly had the angle to hit the hop-up snipe, but with Tribe with a bomb down and now establishing their positions, not going to open up a whole lot of opportunities for that. He is going to send the nade over top and now make the rotation over towards spawn side. And trying to find some way to peek in. They just don't really seem to know what they need to do right now. And we got Arthug trying to make the wiggle peek right there. He's actually able to get the frag onto Leon. Slides the corner, nearly gets shots onto Bolu. It's not going to be enough. And with that, Tribe will be able to tie things up at 4-4.
Yeah, Tribe able to bounce back after what it looked to be an incredibly strong comeback for the side of Strike Zone. I mean, again, I believe it was 3 rounds in a row for Tribe and then 3 in a row or 4 in a row for Strike Zone. So Tribe definitely need to answer back here again. Picking up a 2-0 victory is really important for Tribe in kind of claiming their dominant first place in the incredibly close points, especially in the upper half of Division 2. We do have a hit marker from Resume onto Leon with the grenade there, but Leon will survive and will get the bomb plant as well. So this is a big opportunity for Tribe as a 1-for-1 trade comes through. It is now Strike Zone forced to play against the clock. They need to find 4 kills in a defuse in 35 seconds, but Lil B picking up one where the team needs him, dropping Band. And Resume is still alive, and again, he's been kind of the carry for the team as he picks up a kill onto Bolu there. Honestly, if Tribe are able to pick Resume off in any of these rounds at this point, it should honestly just go in their favor if we're going to be just completely honest here. As Resume just dropping bodies.
Frying right now and just showing how stupidly broken the HVK is. 16 kills for him. They barely get the defuse. 0 seconds on the clock as it goes in. And he could very well be going for a 20 bomb right now. I think he has more kills than all of his team combined. Oh no, he has 2 less kills than his entire team combined. Absolutely carrying right now, and we could very well have Strike Zone closing things out, getting an upset. I talked at the beginning of this, the underdog seems to have the advantage in Search and Destroy, but with Resume dropping right there, not a good sign for Strike Zone as he has been their hard carry, but Band is going to pull out the HVK himself. Does get the frag. Child's the only player alive, taking the shots, but he's not able to land what he needs. Tries to hit the RPG shot. He doesn't have the positioning, somehow manages to get away from that alive. I'm a little bit shocked by it. He's going to take shots as he tries to make the cross right there. He's going to need to return to the B site at some point to pick up the bomb in order to get that plant. And Arthug and GG will be waiting for him with a couple of HVKs. So It's going to be a very tough play to make. We do have Childs making the rotation back over toward the opponent's spawn side. And now going for the sniper hop-up. He's going to get spotted by Arthog right there. He's getting peeked from multiple angles, just not looking like a great spot. And it's actually going to be Strike Zone coming away with the win. 6-4, and with that, we will be going to a game number 3.
That is a huge win for Strike Zone. I mean, again, I was against them from the start. I thought this was going to be Tribe walking on through. Resume with this HVK, though, came through so incredibly strong. I believe 17 kills at the end of that game. So big performance out of him. Rest of the team, it definitely needs to pick it up here going into game 3. I mean, Band didn't do horrible. Arthug was able to pick up towards the end of the game there as well. But Saints 3 and 7, definitely a rough position to be in. And Tribe did have a vastly dominating performance in the first matchup on Hardpoint. Despite the score being very close, kills were definitely in favor of Tribe, but the rotations were a little bit stronger on the side of Strike Zone. So we'll have to see how that plays into game 3 here. But man, Resume absolutely cracked their 17 and 6.
I mean, man's almost went triple positive against the Stage 4 champs, and he did it when his team absolutely needed it most. This is a team that prior to Tuesday had not won a match of Mobile Mayhem. So for them to be going up against Tribe, honestly, that has big implications for Division 2. It looked like Tribe was going to be able to move into that 1 spot, and now at the very best, they can tie for first. So just once again, some of these newer teams who we may have counted out early on, making those big plays and causing some issues for some of these experienced teams that seem to be well established, but they're putting in the time, and it's definitely paying off as we see them getting the win in Search and Destroy. We are getting ready to hop in to Domination on firing range, so waiting for a couple Tribe players to make changes, and we should be good to go for our final game of the match. And it looks like we are good to go for game number 3. And as you can see, the HVKs making their way out. Not too surprising to see. Smoke's going across mid. But we've seen Tribe use some unorthodox strategies in Domination. As we see, oh my gosh, the absolute... I believe that was a concussion thermite double kill from Childs right there. We see Little B picking up his first frag. Childs with 2 on the board, obviously, with that thermite play. Band's going to get a double kill right off the bat. Arthug onto the site, the kill going in for Childs, and trying to make it a 2-piece. No flag control anywhere for Tribe so far, as they sent every single player through mid. They are going to take control of B right now. Gigi's going to hop through the top of 10 right there, and with that, we will have 1 flag in control for each team. Not too much progress on the B flag, despite the amount of resources and time that Tribe put into it right there.
Yeah, not a big advantage, but we do have a slight lead right now for the side of Strike Zone, just off of how that whole first rotation went. Tectonic is able to get the gun down onto Saints there, taking down the UAV as well. But we so far don't have anybody picking up the B flag, and if it stays like this, Strike Zone actually have a big opportunity where they could take a lead, and it does look like they actually do get the B cap online as well. So this is actually pretty huge for the side of Strike Zone, especially if they're able to hold it for ideally as long as they can. Lil B does pick up the pistol whip onto GG there, and it looks like Tribe will get the double cap back for a second, but with the A flag going back over to the side of Strike Zone pretty quick, it's not going to last too long. Tribe pick up a triple kill there, but are not in a great position to cap B. They might be able to get it, though, with that kill from Little B. They do secure it. But with a couple kills going back in favor of the strike zone, this could be rough. Tectonic with a beautiful thermite there, gonna pick off GG, as well as Leon picking up the kill onto Resume.
And the triple cap will go into play for Tribe, who looked a little bit slow off the start. The C trade comes in. However, Little B with HVK in hand is going to beam down firing range, and he'll pick up a frag right there. Won't be able to take out Ban, though, and keep in mind, lots of persistence in play, so we'll start to see that stack up as it becomes more and more important as we get into the later rounds of the game. Tectonic on the backside picks up the frag. Child's leading all players, or at least leading his team right now. Actually, no surprise to see Resume up at 12 kills right now, but Child stacking them up. Resume is going to get knocked off of his Annihilator by Tectonic. Child's now moving up to 12 kills. He is already at full streaks. A great position to be if you are Tribe.
Yeah, Tribe definitely have a lot of opportunity here, but it is still strike zone with the double cap and with the lead going into the realistically like last 20 or 30 seconds of this matchup. You have a couple kills getting picked up by Tribe there. Just to kind of make a note of it, we do have persistence for everybody on the side of Tribe, and everybody except for GG on the side of strike zone. So the longer this game goes, you would think the kill streaks would favor Tribe a little bit more, just having that extra persistent player with the high score streaks. So we'll have to keep that in mind. But with a triple cap now going over to Tribe, they will finally take the lead here. And that is going to set them up in a fantastic position, especially with Lil B going into the second half with all of his score streaks online, as well as Child's and Tectonic only about 250 points away as well. So this is going to be a big second half coming through for Tribe, I would think, with the score streaks that they have. They should be able to push a pretty early B cap, as well as should have a lot of time to secure time as well. For example, Tectonic with the cluster strike should be able to prevent any kind of cap coming out, as well as Child has a cluster strike and a pred missile of his own. So a lot of opportunity for them to deny any sort of offensive force coming out of strike zone. This should be realistically a Tribe win, but there's a lot of time left here in this round.
And Tectonic picking up some big kills. He is going to activate his advanced UAV, or at least have it available right here. They've got the double cap in play. They're looking to make the triple cap happen with the pred missile on the way in. That'll shut down players coming up from firing range side. Tectonic going to get the assist right there. Gets a little bit of time onto the A flag. Looking for help from his teammates, and not going to be able to land the shots on the Saints right there. So the triple cap will evade them for the time being, but looking like it's only a matter of time. There's about to be an absolute rain of streaks from both teams. Saints with full streaks. We got Arthug inside of a Goliath, Arthug inside of Goliath. Resume with full streaks. Band with full streaks. Everybody's got their stealth chopper, but the thing about that is they're probably not going to be able to take full advantage of it, because unless it gets shot down every time, more than likely the airspace will be too occupied. So gonna see, oh my gosh, there, if you just, I mean, look at the map. There's cluster strikes everywhere, sentry guns everywhere, Goliaths everywhere. It's just all score streaks right now, and it is absolute chaos as we've got just everything everywhere. The A cap will go in for strike zone, and I think that could potentially allow them to get the win without a triple cap. But with one Goliath, with one Goliath on the B flag, that will allow Tribe to take the double cap back, and with that, more than likely securing things for Tribe, unless we do have a triple cap come in for strike zone.
We have a triple cap coming in for Tribe once again. Stealth Chopper is coming in here. Lil B does get blown up actually right away, but the VTOL is now in line for Tribe. Totally having that one out for himself. And again, a lot of that is going to boil down to Tribe have had a absolutely great spree of locking out the airspace preventing the side of Strike Zone from pulling anything in of their own. We do have a couple Goliaths available, and we really need to see some use out of them. But unfortunately, the first couple Goliaths we've seen come out of Strike Zone got dropped pretty quickly to some score streaks as well as some operators. And unfortunately, they're unable to turn things around. That's a Tribe 150 to 94 win over Strike Zone.
Yep, and especially toward the end of that, Tribe making it look pretty easy. Obviously, the operators and the score streaks making things a lot easier, as we do have Resume once again top fragging for Strike Zone, but nobody going positive on the team, always going to make things pretty difficult. No surprise to see Tectonic up at the top. 9 flag caps as well, and they will end up getting the win. They definitely would have liked for it to be a 2-0, though. Strike Zone giving them more issues than Tribe expected. I believe that will tie Tribe with Nova Imperium at that 100-point mark. Tragic, having already played tonight, will be solidly in 3rd place. And at least for the time being, that will be our top 3. And it's starting to look like the top 3 are separating themselves a tad more from the rest of the competition. But you got to keep in mind, Gravity and Exiled have not yet played tonight, so they could close a little bit of that gap as well. Next matchup is going to be... Yep, that's not correct. Gravity versus Exet. So Gravity, the team that we were just talking about, starting to move a little bit back from those top 3. They're going to have a big opportunity right here, as well as Exet looking to make their way into the top 3 for Division 1. Currently only 50 points behind Violence, who has also not yet played tonight. So lots of things to keep in mind as we move into these next few matches.
Yeah, Gravity versus Exet. Our first matchup will be Hardpoint on Crossfire, so definitely a lot of run and gun potential on that map. Very, very similar to Crash, with the exception of the first Hardpoint is going to be indoors. So we typically see one team actually take a little bit of a lead on that first Hardpoint, and we'll have to see if they are able to make the rotations over. Again, a lot of really far corner hard points that have some pretty punishing respawns if you are not able to take point. Quite often it goes into one, maybe 1.5 team fights towards a hard point before it's just more worth trying to get positioned for next. So we'll have to see who's able to take the lead there early on, as we do have some players funneling in. Coming off of that last matchup, Tribe did win a 2-1 victory over Strike Zone. Strike Zone had a honestly, in my opinion, pretty surprising comeback in Search and Destroy. The HVK was not banned, and Resume was able to make some pretty phenomenal plays for them. And then for anybody else joining us late, I know the mods have also been doing a good job in chat of keeping up on the scores, but Tragic were able to take a 2-0 victory over NL Esports, which is formerly Infinex. So Infinex continuing to struggle. Nova Imperium, albeit a very close Search and Destroy, was able to take a 2-0 victory over Gene as well. So this will be our 4th matchup of the night. And then after this one, we will still have yet Fierce and Violence for tonight. And that is a potentially a really big game for Violence. We would give the edge to Fierce, but Violence desperately need the points, as they are just sitting 10 points behind NL Esports right now, which again is formerly Infinex. So if Violence is able to pick up a win over Fierce, they could potentially tie NL or even potentially take a lead. But Fierce obviously not a pushover team, so got some exciting matchups ahead of us yet today, Bobby.
For sure. We don't yet have any players in, so I am actually going to go grab a drink real quick, and I will be back momentarily.
just trying to get our players in the lobby here, guys, and we'll get you back to the action as soon as we possibly can. Again, we do have 2 matchups ahead of us left tonight. This matchup is going to be Gravity versus Xset, and then the next matchup will be Violence versus Fierce. So if I had to guess, I would think that this is going to be the closer matchup, unless if Xset really show up today. Xset is a team that struggles quite a bit with their consistency, but they absolutely have players that have the skill to compete here, so should be a fun one.
Let me watch this back. What is this?
Huh?
Okay, Day, do you drink your water cold or room temperature? Hello?
Hello.
Do you drink your water cold or room temperature?
The colder water is, the better it is. Gonna be honest with you.
I agree. And apparently I have friends that prefer for their water to be room temperature.
I don't know if I would call those people friends. I don't know if I would say that out loud.
That was just the weirdest thing. I didn't know that was a thing that people actually preferred. I thought it was just something that people like did if it was their only option, but
I don't know. The colder water is, the better it is, especially in the summer.
yeah.
I put my bottles of water all the way in the back of the fridge,
Uh-huh.
and the back of the fridge gets the coldest, and they get to the point where the bottle starts frosting up, and if you whack it, it freezes over
Yeah.
and gets like slushy.
Uh-huh.
Perfect. Perfect.
You got a freaking cold refrigerator. Good lord.
Well, at work, we have like a mini fridge, and the back gets very, very cold, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Gotcha.
Yeah.
For people asking who NL Esports is, that is formerly Infinix. Admins, do we know if the teams will be joining? What? You forgot? Hit!
Yikes.
Bruv.
I was kind of watching one of your videos from, it looks like it's from March, of some hacks in COD Mobile, and this is absolutely ridiculous.
Let's see, I'm trying to think of which one that would have been. What's the title?
I've never seen hacks this bad in COD Mobile. He nuked
Oh, yeah, the guy that knew. Yeah. That guy actually,
me. Dude, people are just like straight AFK shooting from spawn and hitting you through like 30 walls.
I actually got that guy's YouTube channel taken down.
Lol.
Yeah, that guy, would stream snipe me.
Man, same team twice in a row? Rough.
Yep. That was a blast. Made for great content. I think that got like 500,000 views or something.
Yeah. Yeah, almost 600,000 at this point.
Yeah, fortunately, the hackers have not been as bad. I don't think knock on wood, I haven't seen the hackers since, honestly, probably like season 7 or 8, something like that.
Well, good for you, because let me tell you, when I played the Cold War beta, oh man, it was rough. It was rough. I was getting no-scoped by snipers across the map for like hours.
Damn. Yeah, Activision has had some struggle with anti-cheats, at least on the PC end of things. I enjoy watching Warzone, and they're everywhere on there. Alright, looks like we're finally getting our Splinter. You tell me we were waiting this long just because you forgot to invite the players. I came back expecting the lobby to be full, and it was just me and Dave sitting here.
We do have everybody in here now at least, so hopefully we'll get the game going here pretty soon.
Yep, we do have, pardon, Gravity versus Xset, like we said. Lots on the line for this one. I don't know that bottom play is supposed to be, it seems like the password may have been leaked, as we are now getting a lot of I mean, maybe that player is supposed to be on Xset, but if I had to guess, probably not. But yeah, we should have the lobby.
I certainly don't believe so.
Should have the lobby sorted momentarily here, and it'll be good to go for game number 4. We got one more coming after this one, which is going to be Fierce versus Violence. Lots on the line for that one too. Just waiting for our teams to get squared away, and we should be good to go. Day, have you played Doodle Jump?
No, but it sounds like it's probably similar to some stuff that I have played.
Yeah, you don't remember people used to play it on like the iPod Touch? It's like the OG mobile game.
Let me Google it.
You just jump on platforms until you miss the platform. Anyway, it was like I feel like it was the first big mobile game, and I had forgotten about it for the longest time, and then I saw it on Twitter the other day, and then
I did play this.
Yep, I asked my friends about it, and now like all my friends are addicted to it, and my wife is addicted to it, and
Oh no,
we like text each other about it.
that's funny.
Such nostalgia. And also just a nice little time waster. A nice little time waster that doesn't make you rage because of desync and broken metas.
There's always that too. There's always that too.
And we do have a pretty even start right here. Time going in on the hill for Gravity is they get 3 people on site right now. Ivan feeling the burn, but he will stay alive for the time being. Meralto making his push up into the hard point, and with that, Xset does take control. He's going to be able to get his trophy system down. Got the Damascus HVK in hand, and Thermite's on the doorway, slowing down any type of push we might see from Gravity right here. And it looks like they'll likely be set up enough to be able to get the rest of this time on the hill, and they'll be able to head out of the hard point with a solid 25-point lead. We do have Gravity already set up on next. Meralto really wants the wall bang, but not quite able to make it happen quite yet. And his teammates getting the flank right here, seeing if he can potentially take out Ivan on the side, trying to land those wall bang shots, but not able to make it happen yet. Ivan does already have 4 kills on the board, helping out his teammates in that top side, but we do have Henry now making the push in, but Ninja with the shotgun in hand waiting for him down below.
Gets 2. Able to pick up skill as he makes the rotation in the building there as well. So Gravity will take the lead on this next hard point. He actually picks up Deathly's as well. So great use out of the shotgun there for him. Camped it honestly just like right like pretty much just the right distance. I think he was at the pretty close to the limit of the one-shot range there. Was able to pick up 1, 2, 3. Was able to pick up another one there, but unfortunately does miss the kill on Skill. Skill does get the return kill, and this is very likely going to be Xset picking up a large amount of points on Hardpoint 3. And this is kind of a lot of just how Crossfire does play. The first hardpoint is very secluded in the second story of a building that there's not a lot of ways to get in, so it was no shock that we saw Xset pick up a lot of points there. Kind of same ordeal with the second hardpoint as well. Upstairs, kind of difficult to get to. Moving into hardpoint 3 is definitely where things start to neutralize out a little bit. But again, if you were a team that took control of hardpoint number 2, you typically don't have that respawn unless you had a exceptional anchor push from usually 1 or 2 members of the team, and that was not the case. So pretty back and forth game so far. Xset once again taking control here by a couple points. Impulsive, no surprise, dropping bodies left and right. We're also not far behind him with 7 and 6 respectively. Ivan, however, on the side of Gravity, putting mad work in, and Laura is struggling here this game. So if Laura is able to pick up some extra kills here, they might be able to take the lead for themselves once again.
Yeah, we got Impulsive picking up another 8, looking to make it 9, just 1 HP is that member of Gravity, and he'll be able to stay alive. Ivan moving up into double digits. Deathly's is going to spot him from behind. That'll be a crucial kill to allow them to retake some of that map control, but Yusa throws up the thermite perfectly placed. That'll take out Deathly's, and it will be Gravity now taking upwards. A lot of this just going to come down to whether or not teams are able to at least get a contest. More than likely, we won't see a whole lot of breaks. We do have some opportunity for that with some of these operator skills, especially the Annihilator, but more than likely a lot of this game is going to come down to securing that hard point and making sure the other team gets the least amount of time possible. Even though we're likely going to see Gravity taking full control of this hard point and getting up close to that 120-point marker, if Xset is able to hold control of P5 for its entire duration, they can still win it without a rotation back to P1. We'll see if they're able to make it happen. Meralto is setting up right here, perfect position. He's going to be able to get a beautiful two-piece, and he will get taken out by the Annihilator in the hands of B-Thug. He's going to be looking to make the one-man push, but Skill's going to shut it down real quick, and they are now set up perfectly to potentially win this on P5.
Yeah, definitely a big opportunity for them here. They have the time on the board to lock it down. They don't have a lot of grace period though, so they definitely can't afford to give up even any contest time here, as we do see them off of the hard point at this point, and we are officially out of time for them to win on this hard point. So a little bit of a rough spot to be in if you are Xset. Again, they were probably looking to win on that hard point. You lose control there for a little bit, but they've brought it within 10 points at this point at 125 to 115. Moving into the next hard point, we do have Impulsive playing Slayer for the team, trying to get up there and get the kill, but Ivan is going to find the better of him there. So with Xset unable to win on this hard point now, Gravity have man on the next hard point as well. They could potentially close it out on the loop. We'll have to see if Xset are able to make that rotation in, but right now it is looking like all in control of Gravity, including the sentry gun up top.
Yeah, with the sentry gun and 3 players on site, it's gonna need to be a crazy break for Xset. We saw a couple of operators. Deathly still has his. He's gonna land that first shot. Now pushing up into the hard point. He needs to take out the sentry. He does so. Slides the corner. He won't be able to spot Ivan. Ivan's gonna end up winning right there, but he ends up getting taken out, I believe, by Meralto. An absolute must-have push. He's going to get taken out himself. More time on the hill coming in for Gravity. They're going to be able to close things out, and it will be a win for Gravity in game number 1, 150 to 136.
Yeah, Gravity with a phenomenal performance and a great sentry gun placement up in the top of the first hard point as we looped around. Really helped them lock down that control. Again, not really entirely sure what fell apart with Xset. All they needed to do was camp out the the P4 hard point. And I honestly think that they played a little too aggressive and paid pretty heavily for it. They spent a lot of time off point trying to push out, and you know, what was looking like they were going to be able to close it out in one good go. They, you know, again, I feel like Xset may have just openly misplayed a little bit there.
Yep. Definitely a big missed opportunity for them. We'll see if they can bounce back in the search and destroy. It's been one of the modes that if Meralto's hitting his shots, then they seem to have a lot of ease with it, but if he's not able to find that rhythm, they have struggled. So it's been kind of back and forth. Cello has been one of the snipers that Gravity has gone to, obviously not in play right now, so we'll see if that causes any issues for them. I think Laura and Ninja relatively new to the team. We'll see what type of an impact they're going to make today's. We're currently just waiting for Impulsive to ready up, and we should be good to hop in to game number 2, which is going to be Search and Destroy on Meltdown.
Yeah, and Meltdown is a big opportunity for Meralto to really shine again. An incredibly strong sniper for the team. But if Gravity are able to have another incredibly strong performance like they just had in Hardpoint, I mean, I believe Yusa dropped 16 or 17 kills. B-Thug was not far behind. Ivan dropped 18 kills. So, I mean, I'm trying to guesstimate off memory here, but you know, this is a team that Xset definitely and obviously can't sleep on, but the same could be said the other way. Xset is a pretty strong search and destroy team, again, specifically in that Meralto being the key sniper for the team, and one of the stronger snipers in the league when he brings his A game, honestly, is a big advantage I would give Xset, but kind of part of it is, again, this team has struggled consistently with their consistency. And you know, one day we'll see them look like the team that they could competing at the top, or at least in the upper half, and then other times we see them struggle pretty heavily. So Gravity likely have a difficult match ahead of them, but very well could pull off a 2-0 victory here.
Very nearly had a Ninja defuse right there. Ninja himself not hearing the shots, and that's actually going to end up costing him. We got a gunfight going on right now. I don't really know what's happening. Laura's going to end up winning it. Will he have time? I believe he will. It looks like Gravity will manage to come away with the round 1 victories. We do see the 0-second defuse once again coming in for them. Absolutely crucial, and they will go up off the start, as we have pretty even contributions across the board for them. Impulsive and skill with all the frags so far for Meralto, and a lot of that really did just come down to bad timing. Probably could have been avoided had Impulsive really just tried to avoid the gunfight rather than seeing if he could manage to swap to his weapons, but hindsight's always 20/20, so we'll see if they can bounce back and learn from their mistakes. The bomb in the hands of Deathly's looking like we'll likely have a B push, and as I say it, he actually makes the rotation over to A. Nobody peeking yet to see a first blood for either team.
Yeah, both teams playing it pretty slow here, and again, a lot of this will boil down to the fact that I think both teams are just overall trying to be cautious. There's a lot on the line for both of these teams trying to pick up points here. Specifically Xset, because again, if they're able to pick up a win here, they are not out of Division 1. I do forget where Gravity sits, but I mean, it's a pretty close division over there. I mean, there's a lot that could swing for their favor if they were able to pick up a 2-0 victory as well, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that. Ivan was one of the players that top fragged on the team last time, and Laura was actually one of the players that struggled for quite a bit in Respawn, but has so far done exceptionally well here in Search and Destroy, with 3 kills on the board, as well as being one of the players alive in this 2v1. Meralto, last player for Xset, needs to pick up bomb as well as get a plant, and I do unfortunately think up against Ivan and Laura, that may be a struggle for him. He does have the akimbo pistols out, but now has the bomb. Still in a 2v1 matchup. He ideally will be able to find a pick if he wants to try to even things out, but it does look like we have the rotation coming over by Gravity, and this is likely a dead Meralto.
Yeah, unfortunate timing right there. Probably a little bit overzealous trying to make that plant happen, especially that soon after picking up the bomb. For Gravity, probably a pretty easy prediction that resulted in an easy defuse, and that will give them a 2-0 lead off the start. Is just a couple unfortunate events not going the way of Xset, and opening up the opportunity for Gravity to take this lead. We will see a B defense once again, and it looks like an aggressive B push. There will be an absolute clash right here. We'll see who comes out on top. Trades for both teams. The HVKs are everywhere. Deathly's picks up one for himself. He's going to pull out the deagle. He wants to get a one-tap right here. It's not going to happen. Ivan's going to shut him down. Ninja's going to be the only player remaining for his team. Skill taking shots. HVK versus HVK. We do have Ninja on the inside of Boiler Room. Not trying to peek anything right now. Skill's going to pick up the bomb. Looking like he will make the rotation all the way over toward the A side, and Ninja pretty content to play Boiler Room and check his flank, making sure nobody's able to get that angle. Should be a pretty easy defuse for Skill right here, is obviously Ninja not trying to overextend at all, and with that, Skill is actually gonna make the rotation back over to B, which I was not expecting, and I think he may have actually gotten spotted from behind by Ninja. May have been an unfortunate decision for him, as that will give him the angle and the awareness, and he'll be able to land the shots. That will give Gravity the 3-0 lead.
Yeah, Gravity definitely got to be feeling good for themselves here, especially if they're able to close out a 2-0, because again, Division 2 is honestly just so close. Obviously, we have 3 teams really kind of competing in the top 1 slot, but It's not a lot of points that Gravity are behind, especially if they're able to find a little bit of grace here in the next couple weeks, because I believe some of the top of Division 2 are going to have to play each other pretty soon here, which means somebody is not getting points in the near future.
Yep.
So we will have to see how that goes out. Again, Gravity would love to pick up the 2-0 victory here. I believe, if I remember correctly, and maybe the admins could call me out when I'm wrong, but I think a 2-0 victory would put them up to 70 points here. So really not far behind the top 3 of Division 2.
Unfortunate timing for skill right there. Peaked one player and another rounded the corner. A couple players will drop for X set. We will have Deathly's all by himself. He could get some big value out of that nade if he's able to get it to land, and he actually gets the kill onto the diffuser, but unfortunately the peek across mid will backfire as he has 3 HVKs waiting for him, blasting him in the face, and with that, Gravity will take the 4-0 lead, as it looks like there's a very good chance they are on their way to a 2-0 win.
Yeah, it looks to be the case. Ivan having once again a phenomenal game for himself. Laura not too far behind, 5 kills on the board. Ninja doing pretty good with 4 on the board. And Xset definitely struggling to find any sort of momentum. Deathly's was a, I don't know if I really want to call it a pickup player for them this season, because I believe he is a player on their champs team, and he just was unbanned for this season of Mobile Mayhem overall. But I haven't seen him have a super phenomenal impact for them here. And that is certainly a little bit unfortunate. I've seen him a couple times have some pretty big performances, but also Meralto has been underperforming quite a bit from what we would expect to see out of him. Impulsive, definitely a player we'd expect to see a little bit higher on the leaderboard as well, especially up against a newer team to Mobile Mayhem, because this is a team that all through last season, Bobby, we talked about with a little bit more practice, they could definitely be one of the stronger teams in the league with the Slayer and Impulsive and the Sniper and Meralto. So definitely a little hard to see them struggling a lot here. And B-Thug will now be the last alive for the side of Gravity up against Henry. So have to see who's able to win out the gunfight there. But man, Gravity just rolling on through 5-0 over Xset at this point.
That was just such a clean play by B-Thug. He hit the first couple shots, slid away, immediately re-peeked, knowing exactly where he's going to be. Didn't even take a shot. And with that, it is going to be a 5-0 lead for Gravity, looking like they could go for the skunk right now against an Xset team that had to be feeling pretty good after their success on Tuesday, but right now, just unable to get anything going. B-Thug's going to get an easy frag on a Meralto right there. He seemed to have no idea what was coming at him. 2 players remain for each team. We're going to have Henry likely sending out the smoke right here and actually baiting a little bit as they're now making the push over towards spawn side. We got 1 player in the corner. That's why you got to check your corners, ladies and gentlemen. Fortunately for him, Skill will be able to get the refrag, but that will leave him in a 1v1 versus Ninja, who's going to be over in the opposing sniper's nest, making the push over toward generators. Not a whole lot of time to work with. He needs to find a frag right now. He takes the shots. He's not able to land them. That will be a 6-0 win in Search and Destroy for Gravity. And with that, they will be able to move up even further in those Division 2 standings that are still remaining just as close.
Yeah, and I do want to make note, even though this was a 6-0 sweep for Gravity, this was actually an incredibly close matchup from start to finish. All of these, almost every round ended up in a 1-versus-1 that Gravity just happened to win. So, I mean, if you look at the kills on the board, I mean, obviously in the rounds, you had 30 kills on the side of Gravity. Looking over at the side of Xset, I mean, they were, 21, so I mean, not a huge kill disparity, but enough for it to count. And Gravity with the skunk 2-0 victory here over Xset.
Yeah, that's going to be really big for them. Definitely a tough blow for Xset as they were looking to make the push into the top 3. That will leave them in the exact same spot at this point. They're just really hoping that Violence isn't able to get a win tonight. If they do, that makes it that much more difficult for them, as they try to crack into the top 3 and have a shot at playing in the playoffs. But with that, we will be ready to hop into our final match of the night. That is going to be Fierce versus Violence, and honestly, that's a good sign for XSET. If there's anybody that you would like for Violence to be going up against, it's probably going to be Fierce, as they're currently at the top of Mobile Mayhem, especially in Division 1, and XSET looking for Violence to pick up as few points as possible. We'll see if Fierce can shut them down quickly as we do get ready to hop into our final game of the night.
Assuming Splinter doesn't forget to invite people again. No, of course not throwing any shade, but no, we love our admin team. They're phenomenal.
No need to blame shift. Everybody's fine. We just got to get our players loaded in and get this game done with so I can go to sleep. I went downstairs a game ago and my wife was upset that I still wasn't done yet, so we gotta get the games rolling. And we got Fierce loading in quickly, so that's always a good sign.
I think both fortunately and unfortunately, this last matchup may also be very one-sided, as Fierce have been playing absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And Violence, while they are a team that is in 3rd place in Division 1, I definitely don't think really stacks up to just how well Fierce have been playing. And again, a lot of that comes down to not only a couple roster changes, but a couple players really just stepping it up. So Forsaken was always a solid player, in my opinion, but this season, I would put all of my money on him being MVP of the split. I mean,
Yeah.
Forsaken has just played absolutely insane this season, as well as Raballo has been a phenomenal player. Fierce were able to pick up main Mike as well. Sneaky, one of the reoccurring best snipers in the league. And again, while Violence has strong players, I mean, Bello is a player that was able to pull out the Iron Sights Kilo time and time again and do exceptional with it. I really think this is going to be a struggle matchup for them. So hopefully for Fierce and Fierce fans, this is a quick 2-0. But Violence, if they're able to bring their A game, and Fierce is slacking today for whatever reason, they are a team that can perform exceptionally well. So we will have to see if they're able to pull it together. Again, Velo, Decoy, strong players here on the side of Violence.
Yep, just waiting for a couple more Violence players. Oh, we got everybody loaded in. Wow, that was beautifully fast. Just waiting for our players to ready up, and we'll be good for our final matchup of the night. Game number 1 is going to be... Okay, that's weird. First one is going to be Hardpoint on Crash. As far as bans go, okay, we do have the HVK ban this time, so Fierce banning the ASM-10. Violence banning the HVK. Good stuff, good stuff.
Alrighty, we are getting into the final match of the night, guys. This is going to be Fierce up against Violence. And our first match is going to be obviously Hardpoint. So I again, with just how strong the side of Fierce have been performing this season, we would expect them to have a pretty big advantage here, especially on a map like Crash, where there's a lot of height advantage, especially revolving around the first and second hardpoint, and then as well moving into actually the first, second, and third hardpoint, and then moving into the fifth hardpoint, which I think overall, I say Fierce would have a pretty strong advantage. We see players like Sneaky, obviously, who likes the respawn snipers, to be playing probably around second story of the 3-story here. So keep an eye out for that.
Yep, we got lots of trip mines out, lots of grenades out, everybody vying for that 3rd-story control, and the game is on. Sneaky picks up first blood, Forsaken finding one for himself. Beetle, that's not a name that I recognize. Am I wrong about that?
It's not a name I recognize either.
Okay. All right, just checking to make sure I wasn't too sleepy or anything. We will have 3-story control for Fierce. Lazary is able to get the frag right there, trying to make the push up to top of 3-story. Forsaken waiting for him topside, and that movement could not have been any cleaner. 3 kills now for him. No surprise to see that off the start, and he will be raining down shots. He's got that new legendary DRH as he takes out Velo, and a total of 3 kills on the board for Violence off the start. Looking, like you said, like we could have a very quick final matchup of the night.
Yeah, and again, a lot of that does not boil down to Violence being a bad team or me saying anything bad about Violence. It's all about how Fierce have been performing. I mean, again, Forsaken been a absolutely phenomenal player this season. You know, got my top vote for MVP for sure if he keeps it up. Raballo, Sneaky, Renounce, Main Mike, obviously all players that we talk about all the time, no matter what team they've been on, as just a star of the team. So definitely a phenomenal team that Fierce have been able to put together this season.
Yep.
And I think that's good, because Fierce have been one of those teams that has done well, and then when finals comes have really dropped the ball. And I think this is potentially, if any of their rosters looking back at them is going to go all the way, this is going to be the one.
Yeah, they have. They've kind of been the kings of second place, which has got to be a frustrating place to be, so close and yet so far. So we'll see if this is finally the season where they're able to clutch things up. We do see them making that rotation. It's actually, I don't really understand how Violence coming away with the most points from that hard point. I believe they're getting doubled up on in the kills department, and right now it looks like Fierce is just playing for kills at this point. It really doesn't even seem like they care about the objective. They're just kind of running around killing whoever they see. We do have Sneaky with 9 on the board already, and he's going to take out another one in Velo as they try to make the rotation, sending out the Shock RC right here. The UAV is in the sky. They've got all the information they could possibly need, and one player is going to get spotted in the backside. Velo taken out by Sneaky once again. Now sending out the Hunter Killer, and they're finally getting that time on the hill as they do pass by Violence in the actual point department, and with this they're going to be set up pretty well for next as well, as we do see Sneaky. Well, I don't understand how he was able to hit that shot, but he's going to take out Decoy right there. One player on the front of the hard point's not going to matter as he's taken out by Raballo, and just, oh my gosh, he's in the flow state right now. 13 kills for Sneaky. Hasn't even used his Annihilator yet. He finally misses a shot right there. Going for the hop-up snipe. Not able to make it happen quite yet, but he's now going to have this long angle looking over by 3-story to hold down, and will continue to stack up on those kills.
Absolutely, and now with some good rotations coming out of the side of Fierce, they will make the rotation over, and should have had control of the next hard point, but I guess they've kind of once again decided that kills were more important. So a lot of valuable time that did get dropped there. Forsaken being the team player and heading on over to the hard point, and now is going to be Sneaky holding that one down. Sneaky, who has had a phenomenal performance so far here with the sniper, as expected of him. 14 kills on the board to lead all players. And again, this is as a respawn sniper. So gotta give him credit where credit is due. He's having a heck of a day. And the rest of Fierce look like they are making the rotation over and gonna try to acquire an anchor onto the next hard point, but Forsaken is not gonna catch Willie sliding behind the wall there, so that will delay their take a little bit. And it is going to be the side of Violence picking up the first couple points here on the next hard point. But it does look like we have had the spawn getting taken back by the side of Fierce, as obviously all of the red is now spawning on the last hard point. So this could potentially be a Fierce closeout here if they're able to keep hold of this hard point and not go seeking for kills. So.
Yeah, and like you said, this was Fierce just trolling a little bit in the first couple of hard points. Honestly, I feel like we're probably, as we get into some of these later games and maybe the division starts to separate itself a little bit, some of these teams maybe just trying to camp and play for nukes just for the sake of content. Might have been what we saw a little bit right there, but it is going to be a pretty easy win for Fierce in game one. We will be moving into game number 2 momentarily right here, which will be search and destroy on firing range. Keep in mind, ban weapons, Fierce banning the ASM-10, Violence banning the HVK. With that, if Fierce is able to get a 2-0, that will move them even further up in the standings and actually a solid 60 points ahead of the second place team in Division 1.
Yeah, and Fierce with a pretty dominating win there. Very, very likely going to close out our last match of the night in a 2-0, I would think. Just, again, just how strong they've been playing. Forsaken had a big performance there. Sneaky absolutely popping off today, and we know how much weight snipers carry moving on over into Search and Destroy, especially when they are able to get those early picks. And I do think that is going to be a place where the side of Violence struggle. Velo very likely going to be the sniper going up against Sneaky, and while I think Velo is one of the best players on the side of Violence, I just, with the way Fierce have been playing, I don't know if it's going to make up the gap that there certainly is between these two teams.
Yeah, it's, I mean, like we've said, the Search and Destroy seems to be the map where if the underdog's going to sneak away with one, it seems to be the Search and Destroy. We saw it happen to Tribe. We saw it happen to Nova Imperium. So anything is possible here, despite how dominant we saw Fierce be in game number 1. So definitely don't count Violence out, but just so much talent on this roster. You got to think there's a pretty good chance they do walk away with the win in the Search and Destroy.
Yeah, I mean, you would certainly think so. Main Mike, obviously a player that's been known for the shotguns, but I don't think this is realistically a shotgun map. Albeit, I will give it a little bit of a note that Main Mike is very similar to Nova Imperium, has certainly been a player where when he thinks he's got a big advantage has maybe trolled a little more than you would like him to, but doesn't look like that's the case. And maybe part of that is due to him having just a team that maybe takes it a little bit more seriously than he's had in the past. Because I know there was definitely some issues with that on some of the past teams. Certainly not going to throw any names out there, but...
And Forsaken finds first blood onto Will. Honestly, probably should have died right there. Velo is able to take him out, and we do have Violence with a man advantage as they now make the push over to the A site. Velo taking shots across. Decoy will not be able to win the gunfight. 3 players apiece remain. Lazary getting the bomb plant down, but Mike's waiting for him on the inside. Somehow, it looked like he was going to get credit for the frag right there, but Main Mike was actually the only player left, and with that, Violence is actually able to get the round 1 win, and this is the thing that we've seen. The underdog, because they're able to get that one reset after another in Search and Destroy, it does give them that opportunity to win in situations where you typically wouldn't expect it to, because you don't have that effect of... maybe whether it would be lost gunfights or mistakes compiling. It resets after every round. you always have the opportunity to turn things around, and with that, we do see them losing a couple players right off the bat. But once again, even if they do drop around right here, it resets over and over again. They don't necessarily lose as much of a mental advantage. They also don't have to worry about persistence either. So we'll see if they can manage to clutch this, as we do have Velo with the bomb in hand, has not made a push one direction or another. Still a minute 10 remaining, but they're going to have to make the move eventually here.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And honestly, I think that first round boiled down a lot to Fierce honestly just played way too aggressive. I mean, It started off with Forsaken getting first blood, and he even had to make note of it, that he should have died for that play. And then ended up he did die, as Velo was able to pick up that kill. So definitely got to take it with a little bit of a grain of salt, because right now this is a looking to be a clean sweep for Fierce going into round 2. Velo did get a hit marker earlier, but was unable to find the kill, and now the lonely Velo has to plant bomb as well as defend against a 1v5 push. So definitely not a ideal position to be in. I mean, we've certainly seen 1v5 clutches, and it's possible, but not when you miss the shot and Renounce is able to pick up the kill.
Yeah, if you're gonna make a 1v5 happen, those are the shots you just got to start it with, you know. So that will tie things up at 1-1. We do have Velo with 3 kills on the board, but not getting a whole lot of help from his teammates. Sneaky not able to land the cross shots. Actually, 3, not going to say easy opportunities right there, but definitely doable opportunities, and no frags coming in. We do have Decoy finding a frag off the start, and it will be a one-man advantage, but Sneaky is waiting for him on the inside of American, and now all the feed going over to Fierce. We do have Lazary getting the refrag onto Mike, but Will going to be all by himself. They'll get taken down by Raballo, who gets the nice 2-piece, and 2 rounds in a row going on over to Fierce.
Yeah, Fierce having a great day so far. Players, I mean, all across the board for them, just about even kills. 3-3-2, 3-2, so shared excellence from the team of Fierce here. Sneaky once again able to pick up first blood. Velo actually does get a beautiful jump shot picking off Forsaken, so excellent work out of him there. We'll even things up a little bit for the team. It's now a 4-3, make that a 4-2 as Main Mike is able to pick up Velo. Lazary gets the return kill, but Renounce is able to get Beetle as well. It's now a very lonely and a very hurt Lazary up against 3 very angry members of Fierce as they close it out 3-1.
Yeah, that's looking like another pretty easy round for them, as they now seem to be pretty solidly in control after they struggled a little bit in round 1. Pretty confident in their strategy, and even once again, Forsaken pushing pretty aggressively down that A site, looking like nobody's going to challenge for violence, as they are very content to sit in top of wood and take down that back alley. And nobody making any type of push as of right now. Beetle's going to hear the shots and going to try to challenge right here. Not able to make it happen. Sneaky somehow makes the wall bang happen right there. And that's going to be a clean first blood is 3. Make it 4 players drop. Decoy is able to get the refrag. But Forsaken is there, and that is going to be the 4-1 lead for Fierce.
Yeah, and again, this is kind of no surprise to what we would have expected coming into this matchup. And, you know, again, I don't want to take away from how well Violence has done this season with a lot of the matchups they've had, but I do think the first round was Fierce just way overestimating themselves. Played a little bit too aggressive, picked up some kills that they maybe shouldn't have. I mean, as we see, Lazary has actually pulled out a chopper, trying to sit on a head glitch and set up, unable to find the kill. Renounce comes around the corner, just too much accuracy, able to pick up that kill. It is a little bit close here, though, as it is a 3-2 with the lead going over to the side of Fierce. Make that a 3-1. Decoy is going to drop as well. And that is now Fierce up 5-1, and very likely going to be our last round or couple of rounds here in tonight's games.
Yep, they are 100% in control currently. Beetle, Lazary, and Will combining for 3 kills in total, and nobody individually below the 3-kill mark for Fierce. Kind of gives you an indicator of how this game is going. We do have trades coming in for both teams. Molotovs, Thermites going out. Forsaken's going to be able to hop up into the treehouse right there. Could potentially provide a couple easy picks here as well, as we do have a pretty strong B defense for Violence, and the A plant will go down. Mike will get credit for the plant right there. Forsaken spots a player behind him. Lazary somehow able to get away unscathed, and I think maybe a deagle kill coming in there in the feed, if I'm not mistaken. We do have Will getting the refrag onto Raballo. Now one player remaining in Velo. He'll get dropped by Mike, and Fierce walks away with the 2-0 win, and they are currently on top of the world in Division 1. That will put them now up double the points of NL Esports, aka Infinix.
Yeah, and they are top in the league right now for scores, sitting up even over the top of Division 2, which again is all tied right around 90 and 100 points for, I believe, the top 3 spaces. I think we have 2 at 100 and 1 at 90, right? Tragic at 90?
Yep.
So this now puts Fierce up 20 points over the top of Division 2 as well. So they truly are kind of on top of the world. And again, honestly, I think this is Fierce's best roster they've had so far, and they are certainly showing it. So we'll have to see how that translates into the next couple of weeks, as well as into finals time, because Fierce is historically a team that has done well all season long and really kind of choked up a bit when it came to finals play. This may be the season that they are able to turn that around, especially with a lot of other teams underperforming. I mean, Infinex obviously strongly, or NL Gaming, formerly Infinex, now have been struggling quite a bit. We've definitely seen some consistency issues with Nova Imperium, where they, whether it's them fighting against themselves, not taking some rounds too seriously enough. Tribe, however, is a team that I would really like to see Fierce head up against here, because I think that Tribe has done exceptionally well and increasingly better throughout the season. So those are kind of some matches I would definitely look forward to seeing, is Fierce up against Imperium as well as Tribe, to see if maybe Fierce is a opponent really that Imperium will take a little bit more seriously, as well as then just to see how far Tribe have come this season.
Yep. But yeah, that's going to be it for tonight's gameplay. I hope you guys did enjoy. Appreciate everybody coming out, supporting. This has been a fantastic season of Mobile Mayhem so far, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the final result is, especially with more on the line than ever before. As always, thank you to Dave for helping me out with the casting and everything else. Appreciate you guys. We are going to raid. Noah asked me to raid him. I think it's one of Noah's friends. His name is Hot Sauce Tony. He currently has 9 viewers and 37 followers. If you guys could go ahead and turn that into 300 viewers and 337 followers, that would be fantastic. But that's going to be it for the stream. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a follow if you did, and I'll see you guys next time.